Long time listener, first time caller.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Long time listener, first time caller.
First time
Caller.
First time caller.
After downloading the free Discord app, use the invite link in the description or scan this QR code with your phone to be taken to the Beyond Wednesdays Discord server.
First time listener, long time caller.
There you will see the Modern Comic Mayhem category on the left with the call-in waiting room. Join that call-in waiting room, set up your camera and your mic, and have your questions ready.
Call me now!
It smells funny. Oh, excuse me. Have you seen a small dog?
Small dog? I remember seeing what my mind told me may have been the illusion of this small dog, Eureka. But it wasn't his real dogness. There is a difference. What you follow might not be what you are led by, and what leads you may not be followed. You follow?
So you haven't seen him?
See who?
The dog?
What's she talking about?
Nothing. She isn't talking about anything because she's stoned. She's on weed. Most of the things that are dangerous about cigarettes also apply to marijuana, but pot's worse. It makes you lose your memory and motivation. Pretty soon, the things that make you an interesting, valuable person vanish, and then you're left with an empty life, and there's nothing to laugh at.
And there's another part about marijuana.
What's that?
It can lead you to more exciting, harder drugs to come.
What are harder drugs?
Oh, you'll find out, my dear.
Hi everybody, we're going to talk to Chester for a while. Hey man, can we have some advice from you about women and love?
Sure, yeah. The king.
Okay, when do you think is the right time to tell a girl that you like her?
I don't know. Maybe in the car wash or something, where it's quiet.
Okay, well, have you ever been in a fight over a woman?
I've kind of done some drive-bys in that direction.
You've done drive-bys for a woman?
Yeah, I drove by their house like a couple different times in the day.
Okay, do you know the language of love?
Yes, like...
How's it go?
Sure, like, hey, Fruity Lips. Come on home with me, Sugar Butt.
Sugar Butt?
Yeah.
You
Kinda
call
like,
the girl Sugar Butt?
yeah, and I keep cereal in my pocket to feed him.
Okay. Well, thanks, Chester.
Okay, just keep all the stuff under wraps, alright?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
The following program deals with a controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation.
The viewer is invited to make a judgment based on all available information.
Well, we finally got Trish and Tony on, and Tony's driving in the dark abyss, but he will be in a decent setting soon. So everybody here that's here to see Tony's beautiful face, you're just gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait. But we got Trish's beautiful face and that gorgeous hair, which congrats on that. That is awesome.
Thank you.
So. Very, very
like
nice.
Contrast to that new car. Like the car's blue, the hair's orange. It's a very crispy contrast. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it works.
I tried to blend.
Yeah.
Not trying to blend today.
You guys don't get to see anything but the green screen, but it works with the colors of the show, so even better. Even better.
I like to unconsciously coordinate.
Yeah. Well, we were backstage talking, you guys, and Tony got pulled into that dark abyss, so we didn't hear. But I'm going to ask him live on air, anyways. What's
pressure? Don't drive under a bridge.
Yeah, don't drive under a bridge. Any news on Stray Dogs option?
No, things are happening. There's no, I mean, if there was news, there would be like a news break, you know, like you would see articles about it. But we're moving stuff around. It's probably like I was saying, I don't know if you heard it when I drove through that horrible cosmic storm, but it's probably not going to be a Paramount movie just because Paramount optioned it, and the person who optioned it no longer works at Paramount, and so oftentimes that means they just don't want to make those people's projects because nobody wants to be holding the bag for somebody else's crazy idea. And, you know, Stray Dogs, popular comic, but it is a crazy idea. You know, a fully animated horror movie there's no precedent for that.
Yeah.
So, but we are talking to new places about producing it, and things are happening, with that, and with Feral, and with Uncanny Valley, and Local Man to a certain extent. Like all this stuff, all the creator-owned stuff is sort of out there bouncing around because my people are hustlers, but there's nothing super solid just right now. As much as I would love to break the news that there was big news, because that is great for comic book sales, but right now it's all just stuff that's like out there bubbling, nothing concrete right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, I really need this movie to happen so that I can, you know, I've got some books under here.
You're trying to sell those books?
Yeah, I got to sell those books, but I can't do it now. Market's too...
Yeah.
Well, you know...
You don't want to sell the dip in this case.
No.
I think that Feral coming out will help that immensely. But before we get into that too deep, you know, I want to go back to talking about the optioning stuff. The market, and especially in, you know, comics right now, I feel like this is you guys were like early. You know what I mean? We see some of the, like a big book that everybody's talking about is Beneath the Trees When Nobody Sleeps, like a great book. You know, and kind of like an animated style, a more kind of, I don't know what's the best way to say it. Like you guys did it with Stray Dogs. Jay Stevens does it with Dwellings. It's like almost like a cartoony
like a cute
kiddie
horror.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With our stuff, I call them petsploitation comics. But the bear in Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is not a pet, and the crows in Dwellings are not pets either.
No.
But in our comics, they are generally the kind of animals who would be pets.
Yeah.
So it works for us. It doesn't work for everybody. I got to figure out a better umbrella title for everything. That's because they used to be called Funny
Peril,
Animals.
that's usually what I call them.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be called Funny Animal Books, you know, when it was like Harvey Comics and the Duck Comics, like anything that had animals, they would call Funny Animals. And then like Usagi Yojimbo comes out and it's like, well, that's not really funny. And then like Omaha, the cat dancer comes out and it's like, well, it's funny, but you know, it also gets naked too. That's like, there needs to be an umbrella that covers all sort of like anthropomorphic and non-anthropomorphic. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good question you bring up.
Well, it's definitely a hot thing in comics right now, and like I said, I think you guys were very early on that, and I think the fact that they are pets also has that kind of pull to it. You know, whenever I see a dog, I'm one of those guys that if I see a movie's gonna have, like, there's a chance a movie might have like a dog death or like put a animal in a bad situation, I'm like, I don't even want to go see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
a lot of those.
There's that pull to it, you know. And I don't know if that's a Disney thing or just that, you know, we're becoming better humans. As I don't know.
I don't think it's a Disney thing. Like Disney was killing animals like crazy in their heyday. You know, like. If there was
their own animals were killing their animals, so
yeah,
you know,
if there was an animal in a Disney movie and you loved it enough, there's a good chance it was going to go away. Bambi's
and God
mom,
help you
Dumbo's
if it
mom.
was. Yeah, I was going to say, God help you if it was somebody's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disney hates moms. They were like, no moms here.
Well, you guys, had the hit with Stray Dogs, and then you guys did kind of like a little check-in with Dog Days, right? And now you got Feral coming out, and everybody that I know is stoked about it because the crew, this crew has always been, you guys know that, we've always been big fans of Stray Dogs and your guys' work.
Thank you.
How was Feral kind of thought up when you guys were doing Stray Dogs, or did you guys kind of?
A little bit, yeah. We were working on Dog Days, and we when we were doing Stray Dogs. Initially, it was sort of all happened in a vacuum. Like we were, I think issue 5 might have been the only one that we were actually really working on when the book had started coming out. Everything else was sort of finished, or at least mostly done when issue 1 came out. So all that stuff we just made thinking like, well, I hope people buy this, like I hope, we always hoped that it would sell enough through issue 3 that we would make money enough to cover the whole print run,
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping for on Stray Dogs. And so when it was successful and we loved working together so much and we were so happy with the way that that style of comics, it worked like we thought it would work, because when I had the idea for Stray Dogs, I was like, it should look like a Disney movie. It should look like Oliver and Company or like All Dogs Go to Heaven or something. Not a Disney movie, I understand. But to actually do it in practice and see that, it works correct, that is a thing that we could do. Then I was bummed that Stray Dogs was a finite series, it always had an ending, and it was a real definitive ending, and we didn't want to do any sort of corny, Halloween 2 where you just wake up the next day and Michael Myers is back,
Yeah.
We wanted to really honor that story and those dogs, because we were doing stuff like you said. People don't like watching things where dogs get hurt, and we hurt dogs, and to me that means you got it, you can't do any of the corny stuff. Right?
Yeah.
You have to honor that sort of character stuff. But we wanted to work together, so we had there was a cat that showed up in Dog Days, and even before that, we had started to talk about, what our cat, if we did a follow-up for this, we'd want to do it with cats, and what would that look like? And then it was just a matter of, figuring that out, and figuring out what it was going to be, and that's basically what we've been doing since you last saw us. Trish?
Yeah.
That's true. I like he said, Stray Dogs was pretty complete when it came to me, the idea and stuff. So Feral's been real collaborative on everyone's part. So we've all had a bigger part in shaping the characters or getting past certain points and telling the story and stuff. So I think it's been real fun.
What's that
these
like?
Characters actually.
What's that like when you guys collaborate together? I just want to butt in and while we're there, when you guys are you guys chit-chatting on the phone constantly? Are you guys sending, emails back and forth, you group chats type thing?
It comes in all forms. He'll send a script and I'll read it and I'll become enraged for a second and then I'll just be like, oh my God, I'll send a text and then I'll go to bed. And then when I wake up, there's text back, or it'll be in an email or a phone call, we'll pitch things back and forth or noodle around with some ideas, or he'll say something and I'll draw, what that might look like. Or we needed this character, we needed this character, or we need this type of character, and I'll work on that, So
what's interesting is the least communicate, the thing we use least is email. I feel like it's mostly in text or in DMs or on the phone. Email I only just email scripts, and then the rest of it's all an ongoing back and forth between me and her and Tone and me and Brad and Dennis the editor, and so it's all sort of a text message based.
Yeah.
And Dropbox. It's mostly Dropbox.
I was gonna say if we had a group chat with all of us on it, everyone would get so pissed at me.
So why would they do that?
Because I literally text you all the time.
Oh, I don't think so.
Like I'm like, it's 2:00 in the morning my time, so I know for him it's not that. It's like 11 o'clock. So I'm like, it's not too late. He's still up.
Listen, the cool thing about this collaboration, and it's the same with Tim Seeley on Local Man, and it's shaping up to be real similar with Dave Waxer on Uncanny Valley, is that Trish is somebody that I work insanely hard at this, just because I often will take on too much and have to overpromise, and I never like to disappoint people, so I don't miss deadlines or anything, So, but Trish is somebody that can keep up and that hustles just as hard as I do, and Tim Seeley's the same, and Dave Waxer's the same. So it's just nice. I don't mind getting time because it just means that she's engaged on this thing and she's not out there doing something else. She just works on this.
Yeah.
Now I'll do 200 Disney covers and then also message him.
I do get jealous about that. I get more jealous when it's ponies because I know what those pay, and I'm just like, come on, Trish, come back to our thing. It's profitable.
We were talking backstage about Tony had just done that the PonyCon, and we were talking about it, and how crazy those fans are. It's absolutely rabid, My Little Pony fans. And I love to see you guys getting paid for the work you're doing because you guys do great work. That's important right now, especially with everything that's going on. I don't want to get too crazy, but you hear a lot of craziness going on in the creator art world right now, and just craziness going on there. So it's nice to hear that you guys are getting paid for something, which is good.
It's obviously not as crazy right now as it was during, the peak of Stray Dogs. But I think both of us are sort of, we said yes to all the things that came in as a result of Stray Dogs, So, Trish became a cover artist that people wanted, and I got offered to write a bunch more stuff. I'm sorry my car's so loud. I don't know if it's coming.
No, you're okay, man.
But yeah, so we're both, busy.
Did we just lose him?
Well, he fell off the planet.
Yeah.
And now his car is silent.
And now...
Finally happened.
It was bound to happen.
There he is. There he is.
I'm back.
You're back.
But we're just trying to keep the level up so that, all that stuff that people come to now, if they go back, they'll find Stray Dogs. Or if they read Stray Dogs, they'll check out these new books, Feral especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, please check out Feral.
Yeah, what can you guys give us a little hint on what the story is about? As little as you possible with getting this. Looking forward to getting it.
Yeah, well, Trish, you tell him.
Oh, I tell him this time. Okay, so remember Stray Dogs, y'all? It's the exact opposite. So you got a bunch of house cats, and what is the worst thing for a bunch of house cats to be? In the wild. They're in this world, in this, apocalypse of a rabies outbreak, and they're trying to get home, trying to get safe, and this is just their adventure getting there.
That's excellent, perfect. That's all we need. What is the thought process on variants this time? Because we all remember the craziness that was Stray Dogs, and how many variants did you guys have total on your Stray Dogs run?
The original 1 through 5 run, it wasn't as many, right? The original 1 through 5 book, it wasn't like the ton. It was just Dog Days was the one that crushed it out of the park. Dog Days #1 had, what was it, Tony? 87 covers?
I don't know. I thought it was over 100, but I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe that was for the both of them.
I think that was for the both of them. It was over 100.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But
it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah, but
after that.
You guys were, I think, also the first to kind of catch, one of the first to be on that wave of doing the cool homage covers to movies or TV shows, really. Smart homage covers for the most part. You guys were right there on that wave where it started, and man, you hit it like a cannon shot. It was absolutely crazy. So many
Well, I
great
think-
homage covers.
Like, having made so many of them, I think what we sort of did that worked was we kept it tight. Like, we only did horror movies because we're, like, the whole point of those covers was this is to explain to people that this is a horror movie about cartoon dogs. You know, like, like when you look at the A covers, you see, like, a creepy story with a cartoon dog. And when you look at the B cover, you see, like, oh, a recognizable horror story that I know, but it's with a cartoon dog. So, like, both covers tell you what the book is. And so we're doing the same thing with Feral. You know, we're doing the horror covers because obviously that worked really well. But I think when I've seen it work best is when it is like that, where it's like a book that the cover matches, like the homage matches what the thing is. Like, I think that's where it worked out really well for us. And also having it be dogs and not like superheroes or other characters or whatever, it's so different from what's in the original covers that people get excited about it. You know, they see it and they go, like, you know, if you just see like a character from another comic in the pose from like The Exorcist or whatever, it's like, okay, well, you know, I've seen the Exorcist poster. It has a person on it. This is a person. But you see it with a dog, I don't know why, but it's like more engaging, you know, like, or it grabs you more.
Yeah, I really like this one. This is the one that kind of grabbed me. A really good variant for the issue number 1. So, March 27th. What's that?
It's the one with the cat silhouette in the woods.
Yeah, it's the witch homage.
Oh, the witch. Oh, the witch. Yeah. Yeah, we've had a few really cool retailer covers. That one I thought was great.
Yeah. March 27th is a long ways away.
Oof.
People are going to get tired of hearing, y'all are going to get friggin' sick of me. Sorry. Sorry.
It seems like it's just around the corner. We have to turn in files for issue 1 on Monday. And then FOC is on
March the 4th.
The 4th or the 3rd?
You said the 4th.
Oh, yeah, 3-4. That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to be out there really talking about it and promoting it, pushing it. And like, I'm going to Comics Pro in a couple weeks to take previews around and try and get retailers on board. And just, like, we're just really doing our best because, you know, it's a different landscape than it was when Stray Dogs came out. And we thought when Stray Dogs was coming out that it was the end of comics, you know, like,
yeah,
like Diamond shut down, and we're just like, well, shit, nobody's gonna see our book.
Yeah.
And luckily it worked out the other way.
The last 3 years were fun.
Yeah, we did all this for nothing. But it's so different now. Like, books are hard to sell right now. So it's just like we're gonna really try to make sure that everybody knows about this thing, and also not just know about it, but know that, like, it's ongoing. We're trying to make a book that, like a Saga or a Walking Dead or a Buffy or like one of these books that people go to the comic store to get every month because they know it comes out every month, and you know, like appointment television or whatever, you know, water cooler comics.
Yeah. Yeah, might as well. I think it's a good time. You guys are coming in, hopefully catching another little bit of a wave right now because, you know, comics is tough right now. And I think over the last couple months, though, I feel like there's been a little shot in the arm with we're talking about, you know, comics a little bit more. We're talking about good stories in comics. There's a lot of really good writers doing really good stories in comics right now, and not just on indie books where it usually is. You know, the big two have some, and Image have some really good books that they're putting out right now that are fun to read, and I feel like it hasn't really been like that at this level for a while.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, when the big two makes good books, everybody sort of benefits. You know, they always sort of set the pace. You know, they get people in the stores.
Well, they either have to really make really good stories, like they all have to be really good, or they have to be in a real, like, drag. Because if they're super terrible, then people will turn to indie. But if they're really great, then everybody gets lifted up.
Yes.
Yeah, but those people that you're hoping to turn to indies also sometimes will just go away. which is what we.
Yeah, we don't need that. We need them to
witnessed.
come back. Like, come.
Yeah.
How many people, though? How many people did you hear when Stray Dogs was out say, "Man, DC and Marvel were doing real crap then. You know, I'm glad that I found this book. It got me back into comics." So many people have said that to us, and I think that that rings true. Not that DC and Marvel are bad. I love them. Thank you guys for being around.
Yeah. Hopefully this book will keep, like, I hope those people that got into comics because of Stray Dogs are still around, but comics has been rough lately, and it's hopefully that those people that may have walked away for a little bit will come back through this whole thing,
Or we find new people, like Stray Dogs was a real gateway comic for a lot of new people, and I think we're going to keep some of those people, but the hope is to keep bringing in new people and then let those people find other indie comics, or maybe they check out mainstream comics or whatever. But like, you definitely need comics to get people into comic stores, as long as this is the way the market is, because until it's like a fully graphic novel European market or something, we need people to buy comics every single month.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
These comments in the chat are cracking me up.
What are they saying? Talking about me picking my nose while I drive?
Well, thankfully we can't see you, but
I think you're good on that. Yeah, I think you're
now
just
the
fine
image
on
is
that.
there.
Yeah. Well, you kind of hit on it earlier about how busy you've been, Tony. You're doing like what, four books?
Four books, yeah.
Yeah, and you talked about Local Man with Tim Seeley, which a lot of people are loving. And I'm a huge Tim Seeley fan. Always been a big Tim Seeley fan. We've talked about that before on here, but then you're also doing the Dynamite book,
Army of Darkness.
Yeah, Army of Darkness, which is kick ass, man. That's got to be fun doing that.
Yeah, literally just a couple hours sent off a script for a new issue. It's a sequel to the movie Army of Darkness and to the director's cut of Army of Darkness, and it sort of makes everything fit together. It's sort of like at the same time a fun, like, scary action-packed comic, and also like continuity porn a little bit. I'm having a real good time with it, and also it's the most like a creator-owned comic of any licensed comic I've ever worked on, where the editor just sort of lets me cook for, I don't know why, but like, I'll just send stuff in, they're just like, yeah, this is fine. And so I was messaging back and forth with an Army of Darkness fan that I go to sometimes for like super nerdy questions. Like today I just had like a very nerdy question. I was like, what's this person's rank or name, or like some shit that Wikipedia doesn't even know. And I asked this guy about it, and he was like, you're really pushing the boundaries of this thing. Like, it's grosser and has more swearing and violence than most of these. And I was like, oh, I didn't, they didn't say anything to me. Like, I'm not intentionally doing anything grosser or more violent or what. I just sort of like, it's an R-rated movie, and they told me to do it to try and keep it around PG-13. But to me, that means violent, no boobs, 2 fucks.
Hell yeah.
Like, I'm having a great time making sort of like my dream Army of Darkness sequel, with the caveat that I love all the other Army of Darkness sequels. Like, I love the TV show, and I love the Evil Dead remake, and I like the one that was in a skyscraper. Like, I like all of them, so it's just super fun to get to play in that world.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. I'm stoked for that. I'm glad that you're rocking and rolling on that, and
nobody talks about it, so I'm very excited for it to come out in like trade or like the full collection or something. I feel like there's been like 20 years of Army of Darkness comics, so like nobody knows when there's a new one coming out, or like I'm just the only one talking about it coming out. So I appreciate you asking about it, because like I feel like I'm just putting it out into a vacuum. Like they don't review it. No, nobody tweets about it or Instagram. It's just a comic me and Justin Greenwood and Brad Simpson, who colors Stray Dogs and Feral, we just make this comic every month, and then the next month we make another one.
Yeah, and on top of it, you've got great variant covers from Arthur Sidem, which is absolutely amazing. Like that was
he's doing some real wacky ones too. Like I feel like they've been making Army of Darkness comics for so long, and I think he's done so many of the covers. Like I've done probably, I don't know, 15 Army of Darkness covers, in my time, but he must have done like 20 or 30 of them. So he just makes the craziest covers. There's like one where Ash is screaming and all his teeth are skeletons, or I also think they don't give him the script, so he just whatever he's thinking, whatever crazy ass shit he's thinking in that month, he just makes a cover about it with Ash on it.
Yeah, and then
It's fun to see him.
I love at the same time how Dynamite does they put out their variants and these weird ratios and all this weird collectible stuff. They also know, to play the collecting angle too. So, we definitely talk about it over here quite a bit. So continue, continue kicking ass over there, and then.
Well, I meant you guys. Of course, I watch every week. I'm sorry I didn't mention you.
There were some nice comments in the chat too. I saw go by.
Oh, awesome! Thanks, guys.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then Trish, you were talking about.
I like the wild colors that Tony uses on his covers. Like they're always like, something wild and that I wouldn't imagine putting those colors, together.
That is because of even having only done like 15 or 20 Army Darkness covers, I feel like I've done the same thing so many times that I'm just like, well, I'm just going to go crazy on these. And again, because the editor just goes like, this is fine, but there's no goalie. So
Don't you love how easy that is sometimes?
Yeah.
I used to think the Disney covers were super easy for a while, and then they started to get super picky toward the end.
Yeah, that's how how Ponies was for years. I would just turn in whatever. I knew how to do it, and they were just like, "This is great." But yeah, on Army of Darkness, so far, knock on wood, they just really let me cook.
Yeah.
And I'm coloring another one of those covers tonight or tomorrow.
Jesus.
And I am going to use crazy colors.
Yeah, good.
We love that.
Yeah. There's something that you did also that I loved when you kind of had this weird style of making something look old or weathered that you did very well, which was awesome. And then I love all the stuff you do on the Dark Ride covers, of course, the variants over there.
Oh yeah,
Dark Ride is my jam.
Yes.
Trish did a bunch of those.
Yeah.
You did 2 of those or 3?
I think I did like 3 for Skybound, and then I did a bunch for Bird City.
Oh yeah.
I did like 3 for them too, so I did like 6 covers for that.
Yeah, that's a great series for sure. And
yeah, Josh Williamson's great.
Yeah. Well, man, talk about killing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it covers. I mean, I'm not a big horror person, as I come out with my second best, horror movie. Horror concept book. But like this combines 2 of my favorite things, like creepy stories and Disneyana, I guess. And it's just so cool. But all of the Disney movie homage covers or whatever, they are fantastic.
Yeah.
I particularly like the Andy Price Cinderella one.
Yeah, this
was good.
Yeah, the Snow White one is also good.
This was a favorite to a lot of us.
Yeah, but I also love his art. And it fits it so good. He's so creepy. It's so cool.
I know. I love the where the wild things are style kind of look right here with this.
Oh, at the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the mice and the birds from the original poster, I think.
But it does have a real where the wild things are energy to it. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that stompy looking mouse stomping.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Lion King cover, that one was cool. I mean, I'm not just saying it because it was mine. The Steamboat Willie one was also great. Not saying it because it was mine.
Yeah, the Steamboat Willie one was really good.
See that
find that one. I gotta find
Yeah, that was the one I did for Bird City. That was for number 8. Yeah, it was for number 8.
Did it have the real Steamboat Willie?
No, he's dead in the back. Like his hand is just laying there on the ground. And it like happened right before Steamboat Willie came into the public domain too, so it was really oddly timed.
Yeah. This was really good. Very, very cool. What do you
Yeah.
guys
They
think
also
about that?
did
That's kind of crazy that people are jumping on the Steamboat Willie thing. Make some quick money.
Oh, they had to. Like, you knew that was coming. As soon as Winnie the Pooh entered that space, you know, you got all those crazy horror movies and stuff like that. Or, you know, now they have like a horror video game with Mickey Mouse or whatever coming out.
Well,
scary looking.
You know, the whole Disney aspect, there's that really weird thing about Disney where there's certain Disney things that kind of like walk on the wild side a little bit or have been taken away. And I love stuff like that. And I feel like that's kind of what I'm looking at here. You know what I mean? Things like Air Pirates, that Air Pirates book where, you know, that got shut down. This, I got to show you guys this. Let me grab something real quick. Hold on here.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm going to throw the curveball on this one, Tony. My favorite cover of yours was Unstoppable Wasp 2.
Ooh, I was very happy with that cover. I think it was my first Marvel cover.
Yeah, I think so.
Not that I've done a million of them, but that was
just the whole styling on it.
Well, I hate to
that's cool.
Getting complimented like this, but I'm gonna run inside my house because I just got home, and I'll rejoin you guys in like 2 minutes. Okay?
Sounds good, brother. All right.
Yeah. Talk to you in a sec.
I just got this, Trish. Scored this in the mail, which was super dope. Came from Europe in a plastic bag, basically. But crazy image, right? Like Disney's not going to allow this image.
No, that's. Oh, yeah, no, he's he's kind of not doing something Disney approved there.
but that's the type of stuff that I love. I love that thing with Disney. There's this weird thing with Disney where it has those. What are some other ones that are like those weird Disney? I guess it's not weird Disney, but remember when there was that story going around for Wizard of Oz where you could see the.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you're talking about like the like folklore, like
the folklore, weird, weird like dark things.
All the stories about how Walt Disney, froze his head and to be, reincarnated or brought back reanimated, when they cured whatever brain-eating amoeba he was, possessed by. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like they had those kinds of stories around. I just think that, and some of the people that, we work with Disney today, like they don't even know their own product. And I'll give you 2 examples, okay? One, we did our first Gargoyles cover, Tony and I drew, it was Bronx chasing a cat, and I made the cat look like Puck, and because he, that would be funny for him to be chasing him, and they were like, "What's this cat? Why does he look like this?" I'm like, "Oh my god, you don't even know." I had to change him to a regular cat.
Wow,
I was like, "That's some bullshit, you guys."
How you said you were doing a lot of Disney covers? Mm-hmm. Explain that.
Name a duck. I've done the duck covers. I've got Darkwing Duck, Negaduck, Justice Ducks, all the ducks. I love Darkwing Duck anyway, right? I grew up with that 90s kind of, Disney afternoon stuff. We did a bunch of Gargoyles covers, Tony and I, like 12 of them. I did some Lilo and Stitch, Scar, Hades, who else? I did a Maleficent cover for somebody. I'm trying to think. I did a bunch of them.
Do you
got to play in a sandbox that I've always wanted to play in, even though they can be quite picky.
That's what I was going to get into. Do you have to deal with Disney? Like, are they pretty heavy-handed on what they allow? Obviously, what they allow, but like, are they part of the thinking process of the covers?
Like, if you look at any of the like Darkwing Duck covers, he can't be holding his gas gun. Nobody can have a bomb or an explosive, like none of the weapons stuff. Can't have any of that cool stuff like they had in the cartoons. So that none of that happens on the Disney covers. Nobody can have a weapon. It was really kind of wild because whenever you saw Darkwing Duck in any of the like promo stuff, he always had his little gun, or Negaduck had like a bomb or something, or he was being generally evil. And You couldn't do any of that. So all of my Negaduck covers are funny. They're not. They're just him getting, blown up, or, the aftermath of any of that, or falling off a cliff, or,
Yeah.
they're funnier ones. There's Tony. Hi, buddy.
Are
You
you
made
guys?
it. You're on mute.
I'm back.
Do you guys? Did you guys see that? I think is it Dynamite that's going to be doing Space Ghost Coast to Coast. He's bringing back Space Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
That looks interesting.
I just saw that ad earlier today. I think it's David Pepos is writing it.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah,
interesting.
Dynamite's really cornering the market on retro tunes. Like they're really trying to. Really trying to make a name for themselves there.
In a big way.
I think they saw with that with Gargoyles that they could sort of all those kids that were that age when Gargoyles was coming out are now have real disposable income, and so that's the kind of nostalgia they can really exploit. They can make cool comics for those people and they'll be there for it. And then obviously then they saw it just now to a bigger extent with Thundercats.
Yeah. Wow. Talk about good for comics. Something like 180,000 plus.
Yeah, crazy. Good for me specifically because I know my Dynamite book doesn't sell anywhere near that. So basically, Thundercats and Gargoyles just pay my bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
they pay for us to keep making our silly little Army of Darkness book.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
That's good. Well, hopefully the Feral book does the same. I really imagine it's going to do well. So I'm looking forward to that, even though we have to wait so damn long. What do you guys got coming out next that's going to be fun?
I can't believe we didn't send it to you. You should have just asked us before we came on. We would have sent you the PDFs. You could have been all caught up by the time we got here.
Yeah, definitely shoot it my way.
This is my bad for being bad at setting up interviews. Trish, remind me in the future to send these people PDFs. I've got more stuff coming. I've got another book coming out like 2 weeks after Feral at Boom Studios called Uncanny Valley. That just got announced a couple weeks ago. And that stuff, I've been sending Trish pages from that as they come in because they're just so beautiful looking. And like the same way that I sent, like when I get like finished Feral pages, I'll send them around to my crew. I send the pages from this book around because it's just really sharp looking. That's a Dan Mora cover.
Yeah, Dan Mora is
look at
awesome.
that.
Yeah,
Dan Mora is so good.
This book is me, and it's Dave Wachter, who just is on Punisher right now, doing that new sort of like revamped Punisher.
Yeah.
And it's a creator-owned book. It's about this kid Oliver who feels like he doesn't fit in. He feels like he's sort of doesn't know what his history is and what his family is. It's just him and his single mom, and they move around a lot, and he just sort of feels like he doesn't belong anywhere, and he's at that age anywhere where you feel out of place everywhere anyway. And but he finds out that he actually really doesn't belong. Like he's part cartoon, and he starts to like manifest these cartoon powers, and he gets introduced to the idea of this whole other cartoon world, and the cartoons are real. And so it's like this like coming of age adventure story about this kid. Like one sort of like on the macro, it's about him finding this whole new giant world and cartoons and all this cool adventure stuff. But on the micro, it's just about him and his family and like sort of figuring out how they all fit together and how they fit into this world. So it's like super fun book, and also like heartfelt and action packed and sort of like full of neat little, not like references because they're all like analogs to cartoons. It's not like, Fred Flintstone's going to show up or anything, but if you love cartoons like we love cartoons, when you see the characters, you'll immediately go like, oh, that guy's like this, or that character's like this, or So hopefully people dig that one. It's like Dave Wachter is somebody that I've known the whole time I've been in comics, basically, and he's just been getting better and better. In this book, he's coloring and drawing, and it looks beautiful. Here, I can show you.
That's a gorgeous cover right there. Holy cow!
Great, right? He did like a movie poster.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I love the name too, the Uncanny Valley. That was like, I remember hearing that, growing up. Like, once they get to that point where you can't tell the difference between, like,
Yeah.
is that kind of where it's coming from? Is that where you guys kind of took that from?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's an animation term. It's I always think about Polar Express, or Final Fantasy, the movie, where it's like this thing where it's animated, but it looks real, but there's something about it that feels unreal still, and it makes you uncomfortable. It's like a vibration that you get from looking at it that just feels wrong.
Yep. There's something
and
off.
that's a lot what this is about. I mean, it's like a real boy who has these cartoon powers, and so it's about that feeling.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. That's awesome. Yeah, just that name I'm gonna go check it out just for that name.
Check out this artwork I shared, so you can see just sort of like what it looks like.
All right.
I don't know if you can see it. What is it, Baxter?
Here. So when's that gonna drop?
So that comes out April, I think 10th. It's not 2 weeks after.
Ooh, Jesus!
It's not a full month after Feral. It's like right away.
Right? That is sharp. Holy cow!
It's just really, really beautiful. That's a 2-page spread. And then here I'll show you what it shows up like when we've got some like cartoon and real world stuff happening together.
Yeah. Wow.
That's really cool.
It's neat, right? Like that. When I was growing up, oh Jesus, Roger Rabbit came out when I was like 8 years old, and I thought like this is just how the world is now. Like we'll just always have these things where real people and cartoons are together because it's so cool. And then it just didn't really happen that much. Like there was Space Jam, there was Baxter. Calm down, bro.
Baxter was really into that story.
I had him crated up while I was out, and he was getting annoyed that I wasn't paying attention to him.
Hell yeah. Show him some love ASAP.
But yeah, there were all these like I thought there would be all these animated real life combo things, and there just weren't enough for my taste. I would like them to just be constantly all the time. And so this is sort of my contribution to that. Like I wanted to sort of do my version of it, and also do one that had stuff that I hadn't seen other people do. Like I have sort of these ideas about like how the worlds would fit together, and what like what's the history of the cartoon world, and how could there even be crossovers. So there's like this nerdy like glue that ties it all together, but I don't like talking about nerdy glue now that I said it out loud. That's weird.
Well, and now that this interview's over, see you guys.
But there is, like I said, the main part of it is just the story about this family and about this young boy that's sort of just like figuring out his place in the world. And I'm real excited to sort of get to tell that story. And I always love the idea of sort of doing like not low art, but like where you tell a real serious story that has real stakes, but you also have like Yosemite Sam's in it or something. Something where it's like this is ridiculous, but if I can make somebody have real feelings while they're seeing like goofy, ridiculous stuff, that's my favorite part.
I talked about it on a show recently where I'm getting to that point where I'm falling back in love with comic book art, like stylized comic book art. Like this isn't trying to make something as realistic as possible. I want it to be stylized comic book art. I want it to look cartoony in some stuff, and I grew up on Ed McGuinness, and I want to see that in my comics now, rather than I don't want to call out artists, but this realistic, photorealistic stuff can be tiresome. But
you talking about my photo trace work in Local Man? Are you coming right for me specifically now?
No, not at all. I think that it's just my style, my like for art is changing. Let me do this as I go through phases in my life. So
yeah, I get that. I definitely go through those phases too. Sometimes I'll want stuff to feel real, and then sometimes I'll just be like, I don't want anything that feels like I can see it anywhere else.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And it also, I think that's cyclical, right? I think we kind of fall in love with stuff that came before us, generations before us, and add, kind of add to it a little bit and make it, ours, and it's just keeps going, which is also what I love. So good shit.
Oh yeah, Howard the Duck did have pathos. You're right. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Trish, what about you? What do you got coming out soon?
Feral.
Mostly it's a lot longer to make Feral than it takes me.
Well, mostly it's just, it's the Disney books right now. They're all like I'd finished covers for them for ages, and then they're just kind of trickling out there. There was a period of time for months where I would have 4 of those coming out at the same time, but now it's way slowed down because I don't know if they're I don't know how many are left, but I think they've still got 4 or 5 Negaduck books, and they've still got the last of the Darkwing Ducks. The Justice Ducks just started, so they've got a couple of those. Lilo and Stitch. I got to do a couple of those. Didn't ask me for number 1. I'm kind of slightly salty, but okay. And Scar, I didn't get to do number 1 for either, and he was my favorite bad guy in all of Disney.
I agree. So. I agree with you for sure.
Still super salty. But yeah, all of those were great. Lovely sandboxes to get to play in, but it's definitely cooler to kind of get to do your own thing. And Tony's always out here doing too much, making us all look bad. So
I know, the working man.
You gotta be a hustler every time I come on this show.
Yeah,
I'm like that night in Indiana Jones 3. I'm just slowly turning to dust.
You just have to do what I do, but do it for your beard.
Yeah,
I should just have a bright orange beard next time.
Yeah,
like that.
What up, Nate? How you doing, brother?
You muted.
I'm great, man. I'm just listening to these two. I mean, it's fantastic. You guys do incredible work. Incredible work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw Baxter there for a minute. He was needing
He was just
some
being
attention.
a real handful. He felt very neglected, and fair enough. I left him alone for a couple hours. I should have been here.
And Tony, don't worry about your beard because mine is still in R&D.
Oh, you're still trying to figure it out? What's it
50 years
growing like?
in.
Are you patchy?
No. It's one of those things where you shave once a week, and that's it.
Well, I do that too, but only because I just live at home.
There's not even patches. It's just there's just nothing there.
Is it
I'm
very
like Mr. Bigglesworth.
Oh, that's cute.
I shave once a week too.
Oh my God, that's great, man. So I'm glad Nate got to make it on. Nate's got a great story. Do you want to talk about that, Nate? You want to talk about what you told me?
Yeah, it was actually so. Obviously during COVID, everyone had a lot of time on their hands, and I used to I still do, but I used to listen to the 11 o'clock podcast all the time. And Tony is on there he's a guest host, but honestly, he should probably be the main host. He's just fantastic on the podcast. And so I was trying to draw a couple of different things. And I was, just like any other kid who loves comics, well, you see Trish's stuff and you're like, well, I can just try and pretend I can actually draw. So I was trying to think about the story and kind of draw and I'm not a very good artist and I don't know how to write anything, but I was like, well, I've got time. So I've always wanted to kind of put a comic together. So I just started drawing, and then I've listened to the 11 o'clock podcast and Tony being on there. I was like, maybe I should, I'm going to reach out to him, just see if he's got any, comments. I literally email him, and it must have been 15 minutes later, I get a response back. And then the conversation starts. It's not just a response. It's like, oh, you should try these pens. And he's sending links to Amazon, different types of pens, different links to Scotty Young videos about, because I was telling, and obviously this was years ago, Tony, I'm sure people probably reach out to you all the time, but I'm colorblind. So when I can draw, or when I try and draw, but I've never tried to ink anything, and then trying to actually color things, I don't know what the inking process is, and I don't know about coloring and trying to match that stuff up. And you were talking about try I think it's the blue pens, and you can just really just kind of go all over the place. And so I've still got the emails because I remember running down to my wife and saying, do you see this? Tony Fleece, he said, like, my stuff looks McFarlane-ish. I was like, I have it framed. I put up on the wall. I'm like, good enough for me.
I remember your stuff looking McFarlane-ish. I don't remember it specifically, but I remember when you say that, and when I remember sending you the link to the pens and the Scott Youngs. Did you finish your comic?
The art is done, but it's weird. You know,
years ago. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's weird. You know, like you you have this 2-year-old, you leave the hospital, they don't give you a manual. They don't tell you like, hey, you actually pay a lot of attention to them. Like, you know, they need things. It's a little disappointing. Like as, you know, COVID wound down and people, you know, their job expected you to do like a lot more and kids expect a lot more. It's the time just like dissipated.
Christian, my secret weapon is we are childless monsters. We watch people around us breed, and we're just like, what if
that looks nice. That looks nice from here.
Yeah,
so I was going to tell you, if I ever meet you, I'm going to give you because when I listen to the podcast, you seem like a big fan of Basil Hayden's.
I do like Basil Hayden's, yeah.
I've got to get this guy a bottle of Basil Hayden rye. I was like,
oh, that's an expensive drink. I'll take it.
It's a great bottle.
Yeah. I don't know. Where you live at?
I live in the Woodlands. Dave Wilkins actually lives in the Woodlands.
Oh, okay.
So I'm about 45 minutes north of Houston.
How would I get it home?
Oh, don't worry. It's you package things a certain way, you can get anything.
You know, something that surprised me is you guys weren't at a Megacon. That was a kind of a bummer. When's
I
your
kept
next?
like hinting around for people to like bring me so I could parlay it into a Disney trip, and I'm like, oh well, crickets, I guess. Back to work.
It seemed like a good con.
I've never been to Megacon, so I'm just not on that. I'm not on that circuit. I guess.
When's your guys' next the next con event you guys are both going to be at? Do you have one?
C2E2 we're going to be at.
What about Heroes? Are y'all going to do Heroes this year in Charlotte?
Unless it's like a last minute thing that we don't know about yet, probably not. Again, that's another one. Like when we did Heroes together last time, the Hero Initiative brought us, but Heroes Con themselves, they don't
know who we are.
Yeah, bullshit.
They just sort of barely know who we are. Sheldon knows a little bit, but or they just have other things to worry about.
Surely. He's an interesting character.
I liked him. I met him. I thought his store was great.
It's in a great part of Charlotte, and it's actually, unfortunately now, like Charlotte's just grown so much. It kind of it's hard to almost find if you don't know like where it is. You can go right past it just because the buildings have become so big around it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Where somebody else brought their dog out? Who's this guy?
This is Sandy.
Sandy.
Oh my gosh.
He's a little gremlin.
He looks happy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't
just like, oh, what am I doing here?
I got my buddy.
Why did you pick me up, Dad?
My buddy does a YouTube or a social media channel for he's got these two little huskies, or these two not little huskies, but they're huskies, and he does the social media thing for them, and he's sponsored by this company called Vetnique, and he gave me some free stuff for them, and they really helped my dog. There was something, and I told them all they helped, and the next thing I know, there's a freaking huge box on my.
I saw that on your Instagram.
Wasn't
That's
that
so
amazing?
sweet.
Like I wanted.
That was so awesome.
Yeah, I really got to talk about this because shout out to them for just being amazing for doing this. This is super cool. They sent me just a huge box of everything. I told my buddy that she was having some ear issues, so they put ear stuff in there. I mean, just tons of stuff and really, really heartfelt letters. So if you guys check out my IG, check out Vetnique and their product. It's really good. They the stuff that I like is the probiotics, which really, really help her. So very, very cool. Gotta love our fur babies in the biggest way.
Huskies are beautiful dogs. I've never been able to understand the difference between a husky and an Akita. They both look beautiful, but God, man, they're just always wanted an Akita.
Yeah,
Akitas can be bigger, I believe, but like, and their heads are like huge.
Yeah. A friend of mine who grew up down the street, they had an Akita that wasn't as big, but the second one they got, Teddy was, I mean, his head.
But there's like
Wow. I
different
mean, his body was
Akitas too.
huge.
Like I know somebody who breeds Japanese Akitas, and those things are monsters. Like they're massive.
I think a friend of mine one time we went downstairs after they had Teddy, and he was like, "Oh my God, there's a bear downstairs." And they had a Brazilian. They had that and a Brazilian Mastiff, 2 corgis, and then 2 labs.
That's a lot of dogs. These are people that have money for food.
Especially big dogs like that, like Mastiffs. Oh my God, what do they feed them? 200 pounds of steak a week? Like, good Lord.
Well, the poor thing about Wally is like his tongue would just like naturally come out, and so like I think I weigh like 140 pounds, and he probably weighed the same thing I did. He would try to climb up on the chair and put his head on you, and his tongue was always out, so you'd just be drenched.
Oh no!
Oh my God! And I was like, Wally, you weigh more than I do. You got to get off me.
We're talking about a dog that's like head is just got to weigh like 50 pounds.
It's like having a dinosaur head on you.
Trish, do you ever get tired of doing pet sketches?
No.
Good.
I do them much faster now than we did when we did that CGC thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's just like, oh well, the pressure's not on anymore. Like, yeah. I felt like I had to really spend time on, obviously the CGC ones. So, I mean, not that I don't spend time with, I love hearing about other people's dogs. They like tell me their stories. I'm like, hell yeah. What's this guy's story? Did he win awards? I'm going to make up a whole life for him right now.
But you also get faster at something the more you do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And
you're making people happy too.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I was telling Tony I can't wait to draw feralized versions of people's pets.
Yeah.
Are any of you two cat people? Do you have cats?
I love cats.
You love cats?
My whole family has cats. I don't have any cats because my husband's allergic to cats, but I grew up with cats, so they were the first animal I learned how to draw, and dogs came second because I grew up with both, but my sister has like 17 cats, and she feeds like feral cats, and there's like she's like a lunatic with cats, and so if I ever need inspiration for cats, I just go over her place.
Are you ever going to do another CGC submission? Or I didn't after, because it seemed like it was such a big thing at the first time. I was like, there's got to be another one coming down the road.
I don't imagine we'll do, well, if we do one, we'll do like we won't go as crazy as we went that time, because we just sort of like let the barn door open for those sketches. So we had like 300 or so.
It was 327 or something like that.
Which was a great check. It was very nice.
It was really nice.
But it was also like, it was a disaster as far as like getting those things done. And people were, rightfully upset that it took us so long. But it was just sort of like our first time doing something like that. And we just did not consider like, well, maybe 300 people will ask for this. We literally thought we would just go down to CGC and draw all those sketches in one day. And then when they all came in, they're like, there's 300 plus.
Wow.
Well, let's see. Do you want to keep me down here for a week? Or and then also feed me and pay for a hotel and all that business for like a whole week?
So how'd that happen? I mean, what'd you guys end up doing? Like doing it in chunks?
They basically sent us 2 boxes or so every month until we finished. At the end, it was kind of a mad dash.
Yeah,
there were times where I had like it would just all pile up over here because I was just working constantly. Like we finished Stray Dogs. I think we were still working. It was like the end of Dog Days or something when we were doing that, and so we were still working on that stuff. And then I'm working on Local Man or some other thing in between. God knows what I was doing. All I know is I was very busy, and then I would have to find time in between stuff to, like, it'd be like, okay, I'll draw a whole box of these dog sketches, and so I would go through and like a box I think had like 27 dog sketches in it, and I would just Trish would pencil them, and then I would ink and grayscale them. But then at first it took us a while to like figure out our technique. So Trish was penciling so light that like I had to buy like a special light and get like put on my reading.
I was using this blue pencil.
Yeah, it was like.
And he said, "Please don't ever do this again." So now I have I have a box of,
darker pencils.
Blackwings, a box of Blackwings.
Yeah,
ready
well,
for the next go round.
That kind of takes me to a quick question. A lot of art, there's this weird thing going on where there's a lot of new artists that aren't doing pencil and paper, and they're digital. Do you guys dabble in digital, or are you pencil and paper people?
We're mostly all Trish is all.
Yeah, I'm mostly all digital. I mean, I do break out the paper and pencil when I'm feeling archaic, but I do most of my work on tablet. But I still, I draw.
Yeah, you're sketching constantly. Yeah, you can draw.
On the covers for Stray Dogs and for Feral and for most of the other stuff that we've done, Trish will pencil that stuff, and then I ink it, and then I'll color it generally. And those I ink on paper, just because that's how I was doing it when we first started. And then when Stray Dogs took off, it was like, oh, these have value as well. So not like, it doesn't make sense with the way that we produce the book for us to draw the pages traditionally. It would just be a full nightmare. But for the covers, we're still doing those on paper. So there'll be Feral original art in that way.
Yeah, that's a big deal, right? I mean, the ability to have that original art for sale is that's a nice little chunk.
There's like no local man original art. Like that's completely digital. Besides, I think Tim Seeley drew a few things on paper. And like the issue 1 cover, somebody bought the original from him because like we do our like on the covers, he'll draw part of it and I'll draw part of it. And then that same guy was like, hey, can I buy your original so that I can put them together? And I was like, there's not one. Like it's digital. And then it was like a back and forth about like, would you sell me an NFT or would you? I was just like, I don't.
Yeah.
The best I could do is I could print this out and send it to you. I'll charge you next to nothing, and but like.
I will charge you for shipping.
Yeah.
And the packaging.
That's kind of weird. One of the things that we've talked about before is Dave McKean, right? That would do all the Sandman covers. And how amazing the original art for those Sandman covers are, because they're just these big 3D art pieces.
Like a shadow box.
Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and that's one of the things that they were talking about is that, having the ability to have that original art either, just to hold on to or to sell is a nice little chunk of change for artists. There's some artists that don't sell any of their original art, though, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Tony couldn't imagine sitting around with those boxes of pony art that he has from all those years of drawing ponies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do
you ever plan on selling them?
No, I sell it all. It's all I've got on Tony
on your webpage. Yep.
If you're an original art collector, you can go on there. You can get pony pages or Rick and Morty stuff or Star Wars or
I still remember picking up your 1-in-100, the Transformers and My Little Pony.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was lucky. I hit a shop here in town. They had a back issue sale, and they had everything like 50% off, and I think they had put it at 60. I was able to get $30. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Hell yeah. I don't even think I have one of those. We're doing 1-in-100s for issue 1 of Feral. That's different from the last time around. We like on the first on Stray Dogs. I think we did the acetate cover was some sort of incentive, but for the most part, we just did open order on everything. On the first issue, we're doing 1-in-10, 1-in-25, 1-in-50, 1-in-100. But then after that, every issue will have a 1-in-10 no logo, like trade free variant. And then we're getting ladies to draw cats.
Cat ladies.
That's awesome.
So for that, we got like Sweeney Boot at issue 1. Jenny Frizen's doing issue 3. Oh, wow. Sophie Campbell did number 2. I just turned in the files for issue 4 on Friday, and Amy Meberson, who's one of our friends from Ponies, did a beautiful one for issue 4. So that's exciting Feral stuff too. Off topic, but sort of.
I love Sophie Campbell. Her stuff on TMNT was just incredible. Yeah. She was great. Yeah, I'm actually surprised you have Army of Darkness stuff. I just figured because there's such a cult following with that, I figured that stuff would just be gone.
I sell some of it, and then also some of it ends up being digital. too, because sometimes it'll be like last minute and I just have to crank. So I try to do all that stuff on paper, but it sucks. There's never like a full run of those covers for me, because it'll be like 1, 2, 3, and then 4 will be digital. Then I'll come back for 5. I sell a pretty decent number of Army of Darkness. There's like 2 or 3 guys that just sort of come back, I guess, when they save up enough money and they'll buy another one. So.
I mean, the cool thing is that you guys, I mean, look how cheap his covers are.
That's
no
true.
offense, but you need these covers, man, for $400. People.
I mean, it's supply and demand, right? Like they're still up there for $400, so I feel like that's probably the right price.
I don't think people realize that your original art is for sale, Tony. So hopefully,
like a lot of like Tony's original artwork, especially from the early on Pony comics, were only available in like Hot Topic, right? So like those books are virtually ghosts. Good luck finding them, y'all.
Yeah.
It's the original art.
Yep. Yeah, I agree 100%. What you have some Dark Ride covers up here? I mean, this is bonkers.
I think that one's gone though. Is that still on the website?
The Dark Ride, there was one Dark Ride cover, yeah.
I'm gonna make a note of this. Nobody buy it while we're on.
You're like, crap! I have to go back and edit my whole website.
I think I might have said that at LA.
I'm gonna make a comment to Solo Wookie. I had a Malamute, and she was great.
Yeah, that's the Dark Ride cover. It's sold.
I had 2 cards. Shit. All right, I better double check and make sure I still have that.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, it's the Aladdin one.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's pretty damn sweet that you have your original art for sale, and you guys hit that link.
That's all on my website on Fleece or TonyFleece.com, and then you can get me and Trish's stuff on Felix's site. He sells our more expensive, more popular work.
I was gonna say, doesn't he have all of the Stray Dogs, like ones that we did for Dog Days?
He's got a bunch of the Dog Days. They sold a few of them. I got to actually message him because I feel like we maybe are owed a check.
Yeah.
We're on there for Stray Dog stuff.
I love the original art world. I think it's something that is not talked about, and it's like that next level of collecting. We're actually going to be doing an original art show on the channel here soon. We're going to do a quarterly show. So, yeah, talk about some of that crazy stuff. I mean, you brought up Thundercats, and that blowout cards Thundercats variant came out where they're homaging the X-Men. Jim Lee X-Men #1.
Oh yeah, the Jay Lee, right?
Yeah, and the Jay Lee, and he owns the original X-Men cover, which makes it even cooler that he's homaging it. I couldn't imagine having that cover is unreal. So it's very cool stuff. But all right, so Feral, is there anything that you can kind of give us a little hint on, if it's out there, that we might be seeing something for Feral before March? The March, what is it, 24th or 21st?
Yeah, I mean, there'll be preview copies floating around starting towards the end of February. We're making previews for retailers like we did with Stray Dogs.
Very cool.
So you'll probably be able to read, like if you're very tight with your retailer and the retailer is one of the good ones, you might get a shot at reading that first issue. I mean, listen, anybody on this show, you could read the first issue, right?
Yeah.
We'll put it in the chat.
That.
But if you're not on this show, there's preview covers or copies that'll be floating around, and then we're gonna have our own exclusive cover that we found out actually that when you're the creator, you don't have to do the full 500. So we're doing a limited run of 300 for Trish and Mai's cover for that. I can show it to you if you want. We're not going to launch it right now, but we can give you.
Show it to me.
A little scoopy scoop if you want.
I would love to see it because that's super cool to me. Especially limiting with the limit. That's awesome.
Yeah, we thought it was cool. I mean, not to talk out of school, but we did straight Dog Days ones, and there were first of all there were just so many Dog Days covers that by the time we put ours out there, we're sort of just like, throwing them into this, like throwing them at the already burning fire. But I still have like a box of those things. So I was like, can we print less of these so that A, they're more like they have more of a value, and also B,
you don't have to sell as many of them. Yeah.
But I don't think we're gonna upcharge anybody too much for them. Like it's like I've seen some out there that are, people trying to really make money on. What am I looking for? Image Comics. But yeah, we're doing a Stray Dogs homage for Feral.
Oh yeah, that's right. that makes total sense. That's a little on the nose.
Oh, fiddle-dee-dee.
I'm here all week.
Do I have? Oh, here we go. Retailer exclusives. That's where we're at.
Yeah, we definitely want to see this. We're gonna let Tony and Trish off here in a bit, but we're gonna show you guys something special before we let them go, because this is the type of stuff that we love. We love these limited editions and these super collectible things, and this is perfect because when I see this right here, I instantly think of you guys. So that is freaking perfect.
Yeah. Classic. What's crazy is that we've sort of like, I think we're the only ones that have done them, but there's like 5 or 6 of these now out there in the world. There's the 8 Billion Genies one and the Good Boy, and I think I did one for Ninja Funk. I did one for Archie.
You did them all except for the one that I did.
The Good Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, Good Boy.
So we figured, as long as other people are going to be having their own Stray Dogs covers, we should have our own Stray Dogs cover as well.
Hell yeah.
So, and also, like on all of them, it's a very easy cover to make. So that's that's nice too. Of all the for every Walking Dead #1 or whatever these super complicated. We just did one for Mandy that Third Eye is doing. And that's very complicated as well. But this one, didn't take too long.
That one was wild. Yeah. That one was wild. I can't wait for them to start showing people that.
It's on their site. I saw it. You can look it up.
Is it? What
is this?
They didn't make like a formal announcement. Third Eye Comics.
They just leaked it out there.
They just put it out there like quietly.
What? Look, have you navigated their website lately? That's not quiet. You got to be a super sleuth to find anything on that thing.
Woo!
Is it on their website?
Steve, you hear that?
Ours we're going to release closer to FOC or maybe after FOC. I'm not sure exactly when. I have so much to get done before the book comes out. But,
you're right. Their website is kind of crazy.
So their website's funny. So their primary website is like, news and other things like that. And then if you're trying to shop for things, it's a total opposite website that isn't even like a click the button to go to the shop link off the front page. And I'm like, choices were made.
Yeah, they had to do something.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Let me put that up. That's nice.
Found it?
Yeah, that's nice. That's beautiful. Very cool.
Yeah.
I love that
stuff. That was wild.
And they're selling them in bundles too, where they'll have the 1 in 100, and then you can get a bundle that has the 1 in 50, or Third Eye's got like a bunch of different bundles. A lot of our friends that did variants with us have set up bundles like that. Like I know Collector's Paradise did too, because a lot of times these shops that do the exclusives are some of the only ones that are going to have like more than one in 100, because they have to buy 500 comics at least to get the exclusive.
Yeah.
And we're also doing a signing there too. They have an announcement for it on this site.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're
When?
A signing there and a signing at Oh Yeah Comics in Rochester.
Yeah. Well, you guys, like you said at the beginning, you're going to be everywhere for this, and let's get you on even before it comes out again, so we can talk about it more when there's more stuff to talk about.
Can we do it before FOC?
Of course. I think that's a great idea.
Helpful.
Yep, I think that's a great idea. So, and we love you guys. We appreciate you. You guys come on anytime you want, just to shoot the shit, and we'll have you on soon. So, much love.
Thanks so much for having us.
And
thanks.
I put the link to the Third Eye variant in the private.
Oh yeah, in the private chat.
Nice.
78 points of articulation has been enjoying Local Man, and let me tell you, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you have heard about Local Man and you haven't checked it out, now would be a great time to start reading it. That thing sells just barely enough that we make money. So if we could get like even 200 more sales out of that thing, it would make an actual difference in my life.
Well, I'll tell
After
you what.
it's been out for a while, you have a pretty good funny anecdote for it. So
That's true. Yeah, once it's all over, I got tales to tell about how stupid I was making Local Man. Made a lot of financial mistakes on this book.
Well, what we need to do is, since there's enough issues out to take a nice little deep dive into it, we'll have to do a review on it. So,
hell yeah, I think you'd dig it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, much love. I'm going to get into drama alert, and before we do, make sure you guys make sure you guys go check out all their socials and go buy some original art from Tony, and get a sketch from Trish, and show some love to them, however you can. Buy their comics. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, pre-order the comics or buy them, whatever. It all works out in the end.
All right, guys. Much love, and we'll see you soon. All right.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you.
That was awesome, man. Two of the best.
They are just awesome.
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing.
They're exactly who you want your comic book artists and writers to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're a representation of the good side of comics.
Yep.
Yeah. 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 Especially in con settings. Absolutely amazing. So, all right, you guys, we have an excellent drama alert to get into. We're going to have a good conversation, excellent conversation. We talked about this book on the Hot 10 a few weeks ago, and it is a massive seller right now. It was number one on the Hot 10, and of course that being the Taylor Swift book. So let's get into a little drama alert.
What is up, Drummler? Into the news. Into the news.
All right. One of the things that's very interesting about comics is how something can just catch fire, right? And the next thing you know, it's just blown up to like a crazy level, right? And one of those things has been Taylor Swift lately. She is, there's talk about all the AI porn stuff and how crazy that was. There's all the talk about her with Travis Kelce and the Kansas
I heard her boyfriend's performing before Usher at the Super Bowl.
Is what? Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. That was a good one. I appreciate that. So, but that being said, we've talked about this artist before, and we've talked about to Sean from Comics Elite about the comics that they put out before, and they are some of the biggest selling comics in the secondary market. Stein talks about these books all the time being like they would lead the Hot 10 every week. They sell for the most amount of money on secondary market. They're constantly selling, and a lot of those books being books from Comics Elite and Shikari. And we talked about the Taylor Swift book on the number one on the Hot 10, and Sean immediately hit us up and said, "Hey, I would love to come on and talk about this book." So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him on. Sean, how you doing, brother?
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing out there in internet land?
Doing excellent, my brother. We're having a good time starting this part of the show.
I'm finally glad we got the real Merc with the mouth.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I wore my Merc shirt today. I'm actually filling orders for said book.
Oh wow. Said book. Yeah, said book. Yeah. What a crazy story this book is. Let's start it all off on original. Tidal Wave put out this Taylor Swift book a long time ago, right, Sean?
Yes,
the
sir.
original one. How did that work? Being it was an older book, right?
Yeah, well, so yeah, Tidal Wave did a Taylor Swift like 10-ish years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they redid it. I saw it being sold. I saw a store posted a variant of it, and I was shocked. I was like, how? I literally made a post about it, and I said, how is this even legal? Like, how can you do this? Like, I was blown away. I was like, this is insane. Someone's going to get in trouble. Like, how can this be done? And then, apparently Darren, the owner of Tidal Wave, everybody sent that to him. And I said on there, I said, look, I'm not hating on the book. I just legitimately have questions.
Yeah.
So he messaged me and he's like, hey, Sean, like, I saw you had questions, blah, blah, let's talk. And then after talking for maybe an hour, we were like, okay, there's a lot of potential here. So I may misspeak, and I'm not speaking for Darren. This is how he related to me. So I can write you ever see those unauthorized biographies of people out there all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, I guess, in the 90s. Remember the old rock and roll comics?
Yep.
So apparently in the 90s, they had a case go up to the Supreme Court about those old rock and roll comics. And they came back with a ruling saying a biography can be in comic book form also. So there's certain rules behind this. There's a lot of rules behind it, actually. But it's a biography comic book. As long as you're not painting, celebrities, public figures, politicians, as long as you're not painting them in a negative light, because then it becomes slander.
Yeah. It was funny because when we first started seeing these variants, that was the first thing that I thought. I was like, man, this is like pushing the envelope, because at the same time that this was happening, we're seeing these crazy things happen in comics. We're seeing the CGC fallout, where these people just got greedy and put themselves out there too much, right, at the wrong time, and they got caught because they got greedy. And it almost felt like Taylor Swift is the biggest star in the world right now. I hope that this isn't something that she's going to come after, because she cares about her, what would it be, likeness or whatever, enough to where she's going to, Congress to talk about it. This is a scary thing. And you thought the exact same way. So,
yeah, 100%. Yeah. I was initially, shocked. I was like, how can you do this? And then, as long as it's not painting her in a negative light, obviously all the artists involved with this, they can't sell prints of any of their covers, because then it gets into the merchandising realm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So everyone I've worked with, we're walking there's no gray area with this. We're walking a very straight line,
smart.
It's a comic book cover. That's all it is. The more it looks like her, the better, actually. Everything is body proportionate. So, no one's drawing her with a ridiculous upper body.
Yeah.
We try to be very respectful to, how she portrays herself. Probably the most risque one was Sora Sung in the cheerleader outfit. If you scroll down in there, that's another Shikari sold out. If you scroll down there, you'll see the Comics Elite variants that we did for.
Tell me if I pass them.
I was like, say when I saw the cheerleader one, I was like, well, she did have the megaphone in the 22 video, so I'm like, it's kind of.
Yeah, she did. We just did color variants for Comics Elite for some of those.
Wow, Ollie Garza, yeah, nice. This one's nice. We talked about this one too, with the the Jamie Tyndall one. That one's really nice. The Shikari one is by far the best on here.
He went. I gotta tell you, he spends probably 40 to 60 hours on a cover. He probably spent 80 to 100 on this one. He scratched her hair and redid the whole thing. He put so much attention into this. All the artists did, because they knew this could potentially have a lot of eyeballs on it, so they want to put their best foot forward.
Yeah.
We had certain copies that we brought to Megacon. It was, we sold out of I bought 50 copies of every cover. I represented the Tidal Wave booth. It was attached to Comics Elite at the show, and we sold out of every cover sold out. You guys remember, if I remember correctly, in the show, everybody's wondering, like, who's buying these books? Is it just flippers buying them? Are they Taylor Swift fans? There were so many people that walked by the booth. They stopped dead in their tracks. They saw the big banner and they were like, "What is this?" And
I was going to ask you what day you sold out of like all the Swift books. I was curious if it was early or
Shikari sold out. I had to fight the flipper. Don't get me wrong. We're all flippers, right?
Yeah,
So people talk shit about flippers. We're all flippers.
Yeah.
So love them or hate them, they are us, right? Even retailers, you buy books from Diamond to flip them for a higher price. I mean, come on, right?
Yeah.
So I've beaten those guys off with a stick. It's one per customer. I'm like, look, guys, you can't get the Shikari. Obviously sold out by Thursday evening, and then the rest just slowly sold throughout the rest of the show. We were completely sold out by Saturday afternoon.
How many covers did you print, or copies did you print for that cover?
So each one of that set that you see on the Tidal Wave website is 1,000 trade dress and 500 virgin. Now, the way I split those up is I have some set aside for like the mega bundle, so you can get one of every cover, trade and virgin. There's the art only sets. So I call them the virgin. I'm calling them art only because your typical, 20-something, 30-something-year-old female, maybe new to comics, doesn't understand what a virgin cover is. So I try to use terminology for the general public. So
I like that.
Art. Yeah, so I call them art only covers instead of virgin covers. Each one has individually numbered koa. So the collectors can, just legitimacy of the print run. We try, aside from individually numbering each individual cover, which is a nightmare. Koas are the best way to go. But anyway, yeah. And they sold out. They sold out of the Shikari sold out almost instantly. There was the booth.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that. That's amazing. That's super cool. What about, like, do you guys talk to her team or to anybody involved with her to say, hey, are you okay with this? That type of deal. Did you reach out to them or they reach out to you?
Yeah, so I have no communication with anybody over there, but Darren, who owns Tidal Wave, he told me that the only thing that obviously Taylor's people, it's not her, only thing her people had a problem with was one of the variants one of the stores did look too much like the movie poster for the tour. So they had to change that up a little bit. And aside from that, they didn't say anything about anything else.
That's awesome. That's cool. That makes me feel better about the book in a bigger way. I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't really see you, jumping into this without kind of looking into, you're doing big things in this industry. You've been doing for a while, and I don't expect you to be a stupid businessman. So, but it was very interesting to see all these comics come out, and such a fast pace. And so many of them selling. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, well, I wanted to make a splash with it. So, I did all the artists involved. I put them all in the chat together. They've all known each other for a while. Ryan Kincaid and Sora Sung and Jamie Tyndall. I've worked with these artists for years. I put them all in a chat together. The newest guy is probably Bryan from Argentinian artist. He's up and coming in the comic world. But I put them all in a group chat, and we had a coordinated social media blast together. Everybody made the post all at the same time. We kind of wanted to make a big splash with it. Seems to have worked pretty well. The website they were sold on, it was a brand new website. I built it from scratch. Building a Shopify store is a pain in the ass to get the back end to work right. So I was a little bit concerned about the launch. I was like, man, 1,000 covers, like that's just too many, what do I do for this? And the website, it doesn't have an email list. It doesn't have visitors. Literally the first sale was a few weeks ago. So I was a little worried about it. The only push the website had was the artists and everybody promoting it. And it went really well. Everybody responded really well to it. I did get a ton of questions at the con. I had people coming up to me left and right. Like, some people were concerned, like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're going to get in trouble. Like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
And And Shikari posted his work in progress pictures in his group. You know, if you're not a part of Shikari's group on Facebook, he posts a lot of work in progress there. And people saw him working on it, and he was getting messages from people saying, you better not draw a nude version of this. Like, what are you doing? She's going to come after you. And of course, you know, we don't.
Well, we've had this talk before about Shikari, and he is his art is so realistic. It's unreal. It really is. It makes you double take. And so many people are quick to say that Shikari is, AI art or this and that.
Yeah.
And the first thing that he did when that started happening is he's like, screw it, I'm gonna start putting out my work in progress, which was the smartest thing he could do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. If you search up there in the search for Shikari, you should see a group. If you just search for Shikari and then hit enter, it'll probably come up as a group. Yeah, just like search. Yeah, just that. Yeah, there you go. And then scroll down. Where
Pages.
is it?
Right here?
No, that's not it. It's actually like a group. You got to join something. Scroll back up, maybe.
There's
oh yeah,
a group right here.
Maybe.
Right here. Here we go.
There it is, right there. Yeah. You should be able to. It should disapprove it automatically.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, he's working on another one. Top secret. Not so much.
It looks
that's
good
his work in
though.
progress for
Jesus.
the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you scroll down, you should see that's the work in progress you did for that one.
Man, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Does he have the work in progress for that actual book?
Yeah, you should see it. It's in there. Sometimes it gets buried, but oh yeah, there's the first hair that he totally scratched. It just didn't look like her hair. Like, don't get me wrong, the hair looks beautiful. He makes his own brushes in Photoshop, so he actually like draws the hair and then colors it and feathers it. And I made a post not too long ago. If you zoom in close enough on some of the faces, you can see like the freckles and the hair. He adds tiny. Oh, there it is. So there's a lot of his.
Here he is working on it. This is the smartest thing that he could have done. And it was funny because, I think it was Yee that was kind of mentioning it a little bit and saying, man, this just looks so real. And Shikari's like, nope, this is not AI art. I don't fuck around with AI art. It was funny.
Yeah,
So-
he's a huge advocate against AI for obvious reasons.
Yes.
You know, I mean, most of these guys, if AI art ever becomes mainstream and gets accepted, I mean, how many artists are just out of a job for a while, you know? Because
Yeah.
everyone's going to want that washed out AI look.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that earlier. That it's kind of I'm starting to like more stylized comic art now because so much stuff is so photorealistic these days.
Yeah, it's so washed out, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, man, this is great. Here you guys go. For anybody out there that's questioning Shikari on his art, here's production and process. So. Very interesting, man. A lot of money being made on Taylor Swift right now. Holy cow. How long do you think it's going to last, Sean? Do you think you're going to be able to make...
I have no idea, bro. It's, I have no idea. I think it's interesting when I didn't know, I had zero interest in Taylor Swift, man. I didn't know anything about her. I'm not a fan of her music. I'm not going to cue her up or listen to her in the gym or on my drive home. But I did do some research into her, just doing all the stuff with her. I feel like I should know a little bit about her. And, you got to respect what she's done. I mean, she's an incredible business person. The decisions she's made and choices she's made and risks she's took it's pretty impressive. It really is. And I all the vitriol now with her because of the Super Bowl and, people get butthurt because they show her for 15 seconds after Kelsey does something. It's like, just who cares, man? Just enjoy the game. You know what I mean? Some dude can enjoy the game with his daughter now. Like, how's that a bad thing? You know, just get over yourself.
Well, let's since we have you here, how was Megacon?
It was incredible. It was probably the best show I've had since COVID.
Really?
And the general consensus was it was like that for everybody. Yeah, Nate, you're muted, bro.
Yeah, you know, when you said that, I was listening to a podcast earlier with Justin and Manimal, and they were talking about with Ant, and Ant was saying it was very good. So that's great. I think that's wonderful that people are, because they were talking about the retailers. Like the retailers seemed like they did really well at Megacon, which is hopefully
it was phenomenal. I mean, not even, you know, I kept the Taylor stuff totally separate from the Comics Elite stuff, and the Facebook Live sales, the whatnot sales, the booth sales, everything was just, and that's what I heard from everybody. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, we just crushed it this show."
Yeah.
Like people showed up, they had money to spend, they were spending. It was a good show. It was a good show.
I did notice something on your page. This right here, this beautiful 8-bit cover. Who did that? Who did that cover?
Oh, Matthew White's been doing those 8-bit covers. So,
so
giggles for
you got me going to a little Segoo here. We heard there was a little bit of an issue with Matthew White getting screwed over by our boy, or not our boy, the main bad guy, Mr. Epic Nation, kind of screwed Matthew White over a little bit, right?
Would it surprise anybody at this point?
No, no, Sean.
If you try to do things legally, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? Somebody got screwed over by Epic Nation. Well, what else is new?
Exactly.
Are we alive and breathing? Like, come on.
Yeah. I feel terrible when I see artists get taken advantage of, and it was very surprising. Binkies, you and Justin did a nice little live show on that said Comic-Con podcast and talked about this, and it was very interesting to hear that Matthew kind of wanted. He's like, I don't want. Can you not talk about it? Can you wait a little bit? And I understand that. I understand he doesn't want to really get into it, but man, I think these stories, artists should be like, yeah, no, tell these stories. We got this big, huge problem with comic cadence, all that shit.
Yep.
Yeah, people need to, people don't like to say a lot of stuff publicly because they don't want to be the bad guy. They don't want to be the one that talks smack about something. Like I always say, you're not talking crap. You're just saying what happened.
Yes.
Like it's okay to say what happened. Like there's a difference between saying, I don't like that this guy said a thing. Well, who cares what you think about what that guy said, right? I mean, but if somebody legitimately screws you over and you've given them ample chance to rectify it and it's turned into a legitimate, I have been hosed, I mean, speak up, because that could save other people from getting in that same situation with that person. Imagine if people were comparing notes about Epic from the beginning of all this drama happening.
Yes.
He probably could have been shut down a long time ago.
Yep. Yeah. Well, so here's the fucked up part and all, and I mean it's not surprising. So Epic had Matt apparently come on his stream and say like, "Oh, everything is fine, everything is great. I'm going to work with Epic again."
How does he do that? I mean, other than just the fact that Matt's just like, I don't even want to deal with it. I'm just gonna,
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he strong-armed Matt for his money.
Yeah.
There's little no doubt in my mind, and I can't confirm that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the deals were with any of it, but I know for a fact that Epic tried to stiff him, and I know for a fact that there was a lot further than just that was potentially involved that I don't want to say because Matt said to me explicitly.
Yeah.
But it's just it's maddening. It's like, people stand up for each other. I'm glad we're in Drama Alert. I feel like I'm the drama king today. I have folks that were in my whatnot cell literally got to hear me cry on stream. I know some of you guys are in chat. They're probably
you're probably all good, brother.
But part of my stream I was talking about today. I'm like, it frustrates me to no end in the comics right now because unfortunately, good retailers like Comics Elite, good retailers like One at Comics, so many people doing so many good things, and it just gets pushed away and pushed out with all this bullshit that's going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, it's human nature too, bro. I feel you because, I mean, imagine. I bet one of those popular segments of your show is probably Drama Alert. I like Drama Alert because people want to hear the drama, right? If you did a show that said we're talking about all the good things in comics, it would get much less clicks and likes and views and view time than a show about nothing but drama. So it's just human nature. We love to hear that crap, you know. But
yeah,
I feel. I mean, you know, Matthew White. I mean, geez. So Nelson from Big Time Collectibles, Nelson Chua, great guy, one of the best guys in comics. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm in a couple of his retailer groups. You know, you want to talk about tough sales and some drama. These buying groups now of retailers that have to get together to split these variants because Marvel won't lower their minimum from 3,000 to 1,000.
Yes.
You know, 3,000 trade dress or whatever.
Yep.
It's insane. So anyway, there's a group of us that share these covers. So these 8-bit covers that Nelson has, I'm a part of those covers.
Yeah.
So
it's very. Do you guys, when something like this happens, when you have another retailer, I guess the best way to say it is giving you guys a bad name, do you guys talk to each other about this, or is this kind of Yeah. Okay. Because
the stuff that us retailers know about each other and what we talk about each other, it would get 1 billion views and likes. We just, you know, we respect each other. We're all in this fight together per se. You know, there's some there's some retailers out there where I absolutely adamantly 100% to the core of my being disagree with how they do business. Like 100%, but I will still say hi to them at a convention. I still talk to them. I wish them all the best. I hope they succeed, you know, but
to
the core,
you take the high road, but you guys can make like it would be a great TV show, like the Housewives of New Jersey or Atlanta, like the retailers of whatever. And I mean, and seeing who gets along, what clicks, and who's the one who's constantly fucking everything up all the time.
No, go ahead, Brian. What are you saying?
I was going to say the reason I ask is because, you know, we hear people like Epic and we see him constantly continue to jump from one retailer to another to partner with them. And I don't understand how he keeps jumping, how he keeps finding a landing spot. You know, I feel like you guys would be like reaching out to him and be like,
so here's, I have a couple life sayings, right? So, it might be a little controversial here, but so I have a saying like, so I was in the military, I was in the Marine Corps, I did 24 years in the Marines, right? So I have a saying, not all service was created equal, right? So a dude, and hey, I'm not taking away anybody's service. Thank you for your service. Everybody, no matter what you did. Someone that does 2 years in the National Guard is different from somebody who served 4 years in the frontline infantry in the Marine Corps. That service was different. It was still service, but it's different service. One didn't serve better. One served longer, but one service was, oh, look at that shit.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that guy.
That guy.
Thank you for your service, man.
That's a young guy right there. He still had hair.
Yeah.
But, and the same thing. So not all retailers are created equal either. Right. So you have again, not one's better. Some are bigger. Midtown is a different retailer than Epic Nation per se, right? So there's just different levels. So sometimes when someone says, you know, how does this retailer find a person to keep doing? Well, first off, what level retailer is he? If you're just on a Whatnot stream screaming, let's go with the camera, are you really a seller?
That's a great point.
Let's go seller, right? I can't, those guys drive me, they come and go so fast. Those guys swoop in, they do nothing. Back when giveaways were, you know, not, you can just run them all the time. All they do is giveaways. They have all these followers because all they do is have people that just want to win their giveaways. They're not making any money. And they come in, they make a big splash, and they disappear because they're not making any money.
Yeah.
Right? Or they swoop in, guys like Nation, they swoop in, they get themselves in a mountain of debt. They realize comics aren't easy, no matter how hot of a Perillo, Delato, whoever cover you got. No
you got to be a hustler.
That cover is of that character. It's tough to sell it. It's tough to give somebody to give you $14.99 for a cover.
Did you give that advice to Frankie's?
Well, so Frankie's is a great example because look at everyone saw their bankruptcy statements. Look how many working capital loans he had. I mean, that's a quick way to a fast death in the retail words. Take out, and bro, I could show you just scroll through my feed and I get my emails I'm bombarded with working capital offers. Get money, get money, get money, get money, because the algorithms target people and all this other crap. Man, quick way to a fast death. And there has to be a point to where you have to become. You got to be a businessman first, and then a comic seller. Yeah. I'm going to start a successful business. What do I want to sell? I want to sell comics. Not I love comics and I want to sell them to start a business. You got to start with the business side first. Once you understand the dynamics of sales and when's a project make money, when's it lose money? Are you managing your spreadsheet? Did you make, what's your cost per board and bag? If you don't know how much you're paying per board and bag, then you don't know what your costs are. Anyway, I could go on.
That's
and on
one of the
about
first
that,
things, Sean. That's one of the first things that I really noticed when I started talking to a lot of comic guys, the retailers, big retailers in the game. That there's these levels, and one thing that you guys say, you've said it to me before. My other guys that are your levels have said it to me, that nobody cares. Like you said, nobody's watching these guys. Nobody talks about these guys. This is a different world. Comic book YouTube and what we do here and what we talk about is so different than, that level. So I understand it, but it just blows me away that people still allow him to be in your guys' sandbox even. Yeah,
there's been many talks with I can't say too many things, but I've raised my concern to selling platforms about that person still being on that selling platform, and it lowers the bar for the rest of us. It minimizes that space, right? Come on, and really Whatnot is such a small community still.
Yes.
Right. So how many scammers are on eBay? Hundreds, thousands on eBay. How many people have gotten scammed on eBay? Tons of people have gotten scammed on eBay, but you don't see entire YouTube shows talking about how effed up eBay is, right? We still go there to check sales prices and last sold, and we still use that as our guide most times for what something's worth, right? Last sold item, what can I buy it for now? What's the last one thing it sold for? But there's thousands of scammers on that platform, right? One or two on Whatnot, and all of a sudden that's Whatnot's deal. Crap and it's shit, and it's not the platform, it's the people that are on there. Now they're still relatively new. They're still figuring things out and who to put on there, who to take off, and there's still very minuscule amount of people at the top making those decisions, and maybe those people just don't see the big picture the way some of us see it from this level, But I don't agree with it. I think he should be off of there too. I think he should be off of all selling platforms everywhere forever. Like I'll never do business with him or anybody that does do business with him. That's one of my first questions I ask. Hey, can I do variant for Power Hour? Sure, man. Let's have a talk. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk. I want to know, who are you? What circles do you run in? I'm not the gatekeeper of comics, but I get to choose what I do with my properties and what I don't,
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's important. Oh yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking to us about this. You're anytime you want to come on, you got a spot for this channel. We appreciate you and what you do, and you've kind of doubled up lately. You've got that monster working in your warehouse, putting out books and printing new books, and you're doing your thing, man, with Merc and everything. So keep it up.
Yeah, it's definitely growing into quite the establishment. I'm curious about what Binky's thought about the Taylor Swift book. He didn't look too happy when we were talking about it. What are your feelings, man? Let it fly. Go for it.
No, it's fine. I didn't want to step on your toes.
He's a bigger fan of the 1989 album covers. It's not reflected, and you've got a little more Dazzler.
So we can talk.
It's just it's a preference. Yeah.
No. I mean,
Shake It Off kind of cover next time. You're kind of in between. So
no, it's just. And it's not you. I mean, it's the whole thing. It's again, I was talking about it in my stream amongst other things earlier today. I just feel like we're at this point in comics where so many things are like this flash in the pan. What's out there? And we've just lost content. We've lost the inside.
Well, I mean, I would agree with you. I've built my entire businesses out of what's on the cover.
Yeah. And I mean and you know, to each their own. I'm not going to yuck somebody's yum. I totally get it, and I totally get artwork and things like that. But to me, I just, you know, I feel like that's not sustainable, and that's what frustrates me as a lover of comics.
So, you know, that's an interesting conversation because it's sustained me for 8 years now. So I guess how long does something has to work for it to be sustainable, I guess?
Right. And I mean, that's the thing. So comics have been around for 100 years.
Sure.
So, you know,
I would make the comparison to like Image Comics when they launched. It was all about art, no stories. And it was about, hey, take away like McFarlane, Jim Lee, but then all of a sudden, you know, you have Union and you had all these different ones, and people are just jumping from one to one because they love the art.
Yeah.
And McFarlane even says, like, I can sell you a book that's got great art, maybe not the best story, but I can't sell you a book that's got no art and a really good story, or it's, you know, there's just a balance of it. And
so speaking of Image, just look at the sensation of Something's Killing the Children and Department of Truth, for example.
Yeah.
Those were all very story-driven issues. And I think every person between the ages of 25 and 50 did a variant for Department of Truth. I mean, every single. I mean, how many of those did you see, right? So, and that was all about the story. It was, you know, the variants were. I don't think anybody was buying those covers from Diamond. By the way, that's what I'm talking about. I don't think anybody was buying those covers because they were great art on them. So I think there's still. Look at this. Look at Tinian. I mean, that guy can't draw anything, as far as I know. You know,
well, JR. I mean, there's a perfect example. Like that's why ASM doesn't sell. I mean, like it sells on title, but like, so, you know, like House of Slaughter, like the story. Terrible.
It was, yeah. So a good story will carry Invincible.
Yeah,
Invincible is an amazing story. I mean, and it, you know, that went for so long. So, but then again, does anybody read Spawn anymore? I mean, it sells, but does anybody open up and read it, or do they just like
I think the majority of comic buyers nowadays are buying based on cover art alone.
I would agree with that. And that's
too.
the thing. That's the thing that kills me is somebody that, you know, got into comics because of the messaging that you could tell inside of something. It provided this medium to convey something that may be socially out there at this point, but needs to be talked about. And I just feel like, you know, we're coming to this impasse now where it's just like, fuck all that. Let's just throw Taylor Swift on the cover or something, and we'll sell it to the Swifties, and then on to the next thing when the next big pop artist comes up.
I gotta tell you though, having a 6-year-old, if I had a daughter, and I like Taylor, I love Taylor Swift. If I had a daughter and I was going to the comic store, like that's a great incentive for me to be able to like take her or take him, you know, whoever loves Taylor Swift. I'm like, just another thing, like trying to keep them interested in.
The problem is kids don't read comics anymore. Period. That's the problem.
And in a perfect world, let's just say, I mean, I hope so. I mean, you know, no one's buying this for their daughter to read, not this copy.
Oh, well, and not that. It's just that's the other piece that bothers me is there are some folks who we already briefly iterated their name that are putting out just absolute horseshit with Pokemon covers that people are literally claiming to buy because there's Pokemon on the front for their children.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's been some of these guys that have the smaller, I guess some of the smaller whatnot sellers, they are trampling all over any IP they can find just to make sales and make a cover, and there's a lot of highly questionable stuff out there. I mean, you know, we all walk, you know, so there's even let's take Zenoscope for example, right? I mean, Merc, the stuff that I do, we all walk a gray area when it comes to cosplay and that kind of stuff. You know, you can tell when that's supposed to look like Harley Quinn or that's just Harley Quinn, right? Like sometimes you're like, is that a Harley Quinn cover? Oh no, it's a whatever title. Like, well, that's totally Harley Quinn.
Couldn't you have said the same thing about Topps in the 80s when they made Garbage Pail Kids?
Sure, I'm sure they did.
Is there a line for Merc on any of these books that you do? What is some of those things for you that you won't do?
Well, I mean, whenever someone wants to do a variant, I just say, look, a cosplay cover clearly has to be a cosplay cover, right? And it goes sometimes like, so Catfight, one of our characters, she has 3 scratches on her eye, right? Murat Michaels and his Naughty and Nice, the girls all have tattoos on them, right? So the girl can be dressed like Harley Quinn or whatever, but if she's got tattoos on them, it's clearly the Naughty and Nice characters, right? So it just has to clearly be a cosplay cover. You know, it has to be one of our characters dressed as, and it can't be an exact, you know, change the costume a little bit. You know, there, you know, be careful what you show here. There's a,
hey, this is all art, baby. This is all art. It is art to the fullest.
Like that's our character Catfight. That's Miss Meow.
Like these are so gorgeous. Holy cow.
That's Shikari's Miss Meow. That's Catfight. She's got new powers with the shit coming out of her back.
Man, meow.
And you're creating IPs at the same time, so you're not just doing you know, cover art. I mean, even though that's what sells a lot of your books, I guess, you know, we should appreciate the fact that you're spending a little bit of time trying to figure out some of these stories and IPs and characters.
Yes, and you know, so man, a dude came up to me at Megacon and he's throwing your name all around. You need to go on Bryan's show with me and we need to talk about art books. And I was like, no problem. And we wound up having it was a good talk, a little passionate. We're both very passionate about what we think, but it's the dude that I just forgot the name of it. Mad Love Comics.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had him on here. Yeah. He seemed like a really good dude, and
yeah,
you know,
I totally and adamantly disagree with what he does 100,000% for lots of reasons. So I'd be more than happy.
Why? Well, yeah, we'll definitely set that up. I would love to.
Mad Love did the afro for Justin and Zach, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what Mad Love does, which I'm okay with, is, and I talked about this with him. He's not just. There's those art books out there that they just throw whatever they can on the inside to make it an art book. I feel like you have to be spending a little bit of time on what you're putting in the inside. Perfect example is what Billy at Economics and Comics does with his Speechless stuff, right? Where he does the art book for you know, Carla Cohen, and on the inside it's Carla writing, you know, about her career on the inside and stuff. There has to be some thought process on what and some creating on what you're throwing on the inside there.
Agree 100%. 100%. Like that's a good example. So what Billy does, that's a great idea. It's almost like a magazine.
Yes.
Right. It's a comic book size magazine at that point, which is fantastic. Good for him, man. Like, he promotes the artist. He's talking about the artist. It's not just a book full of pictures, right?
Yes.
So what I see, again, not to get into this without him here, he can't even defend himself, but I'll kind of lay the groundwork for it, right? So what I see is somebody that wants a cheap way to make a comic without making a comic. Making a comic book is expensive and it's time consuming and it's a lot of work. Every issue of a comic, ask any creator, a cheap comic, you're at least $3,000 in. A quality comic, you're $5,000 to $7,000 to $10,000, depending who's doing those interiors, who's doing your colors, how many pages it is, et cetera, et cetera. It's about $5,000 to make a comic book, right? And then, so you have to invest that money first to make a comic. Then you have an actual comic book you can put a cover on because it's a comic book. Or you can just ask an artist to give you a bunch of art for free, make it 24 pages, trim it down to a comic book size, and market it as it's an art book. It's just an art book. And then you're putting Harley Quinn on the cover or whatever you want to put on the cover and promoting it as an art book. You get a free comic book. All you got to do is pay printing costs because now it's yours, and you can sell it for $15, $20, $30, $40, $60 each, and you're making a fortune.
Yeah.
Right. Without having to put the work into doing a comic book. Right. So he tried to tell me, well, hey, you guys did an art book at Merck. And I'm like, I did. I took the covers that were on a comic book. Those were actual comic book covers. And I put them inside an art book. And we did it for a
cover run.
For like a May the 4th. There's tons of art books out there. Vampirella, Marvel does them. But this is art that, like, these guys paid for that were on covers that's honoring the artist. And it's because someone's kind of arguing to me, we're like, well, I'm promoting the artist. Then pay for them to be on a variant of a comic. Reach out to me, reach out to Marat, reach out to any of these guys that have an actual comic book that you can, if you really want to promote this artist, you can do that. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what, again, not to bring them up again, but look at what Epic did with those stupid art books. With that dude just putting, it's just a cheap way to get a comic, really. And then, in my opinion, if that's all you do, you're kind of bringing, the reason we limit comics. I can get in a whole tirade about this whole thing again, right? What makes something collectible, right? Desirability and availability, in my opinion. Is something desirable, and then how many of them were made. That's what makes it collectible, right? That's in my opinion, right? That's why I announce all the print runs to my books. I limit them to a certain amount. I'm trying to make them collectible. I want enough. It's a fine balance. I want enough for the people to have them, but I also want to sell out, right? I don't want these products to be available forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, your brand is how your brand is looked at in this world is a big deal, and doing where you're keeping it limited only helps your brand in this world.
Yeah, and part of what makes a comic collectible, again, just my opinion, is the fact that there's a comic book in it. Right? There's a story. You can open up, read the story. Now we're getting into all subjective, right? Well, I like looking at the pictures on the inside. Okay, that's cool. Now we're just getting into my opinion versus his opinion.
Yeah.
So what it all boils down to is, like Binky said, hey, one of my favorite sayings is, buy what you like, collect what you want, don't listen to the haters. If you like it, buy it. No one can tell you what to collect. No one can tell you what not to buy. No one can tell you, you know what, CBCS is inferior to CGC. If you like it, get CBCS. If you, whatever. Oh, you shouldn't collect DC. DC sucks. Well, if you like it, buy it, man. It's up to you. Whatever you want to buy. So, don't yuck anyone's yum, like he said, right?
And exactly that. I mean, I realize it's they're not books for me. I accept that reality. So incidentally, that's the look. I was like, it's fucking Taylor Swift book. There's been 57 bazillion variants. We're reaching do you poo status at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's great about the internet is you can keep scrolling. I tell people that all the time. Hey, it's tough for all of us, right? We're all very alpha males. We all have opinions. We all want to feel like our opinion should be heard, and sometimes I need to realize that, like everybody else.
How do you test the water on these books? Like, what tells you, all right, I'm going to do another cover. I'm going to do another cover, and what tells you to stop? Like, I mean, are you worried you're going to be holding a ton of these books at some point?
Man, yes, we're always worried about that, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, bro, you just have to go with your instincts. Years and years of trial and error. I can't tell you how many covers I've had bomb. Just lost money on a project, sitting on cases of them, tons of them. That's why Jesus invented mystery boxes, right? So anybody doing a mystery box, hey, there's going to be one book in there you want, and the rest is going to be stuff you probably already have, or they're trying
you get one that you want. It depends on which mystery. You sell the mystery box.
Yeah, who built that mystery box?
Right? Yeah, that's why Jesus made mystery boxes, because you're trying to get rid of the whole product in a way to make it fun still. We all try to repackage stuff and reinvent it. Nobody wants to just take their book that was $15 and put it on sale for $5, because now you just devalue that book. I mean, unless you're a certain retailer, that's all they do. That's fine. But, whatever. So what makes it collectible? So you just trial and error, man. Like, you have to have a good instinct for, you got to know your artist. You got to know what they're strong at. What can they draw? For example, I'm not going to reach out to Delato to do a pinup cover. I'm not going to
reach out to Rob Liefeld just to do feet.
I'm not going to ask Delato to do this cover for me, because I'm also not going to ask Shikari to draw me Venom.
Yeah,
because
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I would probably give you money for a Delato pinup cover and Shikari to draw Venom. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Hey, hit me up. We'll do a Shikari Venom variant. He'll hate me forever. So it's just trial and error. We're all afraid of being stuck holding books, and that's why you see a lot of sellers They pop up, they try a couple things, and then they go away. Everyone thinks it's easy. All I gotta do is get John Jang on the cover, and I'm gonna make a ton of money. This isn't Field of Dreams, man. It's not build it and they will come. You know,
it's
sales
hustling.
Hustle. You got to have a market first. You got to have people that follow you, that trust you. Start with small print runs, build from there. I mean,
yeah.
Hey, Sean, where are you setting up next after Megacon? What's the next?
C22.
Yeah.
C22.
Are you doing Charlotte? Are you doing Heroes?
No, I mean, I got so much going on, bro. I love going to cons. I love cons. I get to see all my friends. I get to hang out. I get to see the public. Like, I love going to cons. I just got so much going on, bro. I can't make it to these cons. So right now I only got C2E2 in New York on my radar. Okay. And, you know, I mean, with the Smash, hey, if anybody want a job, reach out to me because I need somebody that'll go around to cons and sell Shikari stuff. I could have a Shikari booth at cons. I could have a Tidal Wave booth selling Taylor stuff at cons.
Well, I bet you we could find you that person, man. Let me tell you.
Hey, let me know.
Yeah.
Full time. Well, I'm also anybody want a job selling or whatnot? I got full-time positions available. My top seller makes about $3,000 a week.
Just where do they have to be located to do it? What part of the country?
They got to be here, man. I've tried the remote thing.
Yeah.
Where are you located?
Indianapolis.
So there you guys go. If anybody's located in Indianapolis, send Sean a message and reach out to him. Send him a resume and get you.
I mean, kudos on him. This last dude, I give $5,000 to help him move. Dropped his whole life in California, moved out here, and he's crushing it. He does sales on Merck's whatnot account. He does sales on the CE account. I have more than enough product, so you're not going to run out of product.
Sean, I got a random question for you.
Sure.
Are you watching Masters of Air on Apple TV?
Oh, not yet, bro. I saw that last night. Popped up on my recommended. Should I watch it?
It's 4 episodes in. It's way better than Pacific. It's much, Band of Brothers, I think, is the greatest thing I've ever seen on film or TV.
Okay, yeah.
It's closer to Band of Brothers. It's really
that's
good.
saying a lot.
Yeah. That's
saying a lot. Yeah, I finished Reacher. I got nothing to watch right now.
That's it, man. Every Friday night.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll check it out. Yeah, man. Hey, I love talking shop, man. I'll jump on there anytime.
Hell yeah.
I love debating about shit, whatever.
Well, I got some plans in the works, and I'll reach out to you about that I just kind of fell into, and I want you to be on the channel more anyway. So I'm glad you're on, and like I said, anytime you want to jump on for anything, reach out, and I'll do the same.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Binkies,
brother.
Great having you.
Binkies, Taylor Swift's not gonna hurt you, bro. It's okay.
She's already hurt me.
I'm just teasing, man.
She dumped him for a guy with the chefs.
Yeah. So thanks, Sean. Appreciate it, man.
All right, guys. I'm gonna keep watching you guys. I'll talk. So you can talk smack about me, but I'm gonna watch it. So
all right, sounds good. All right, brother.
and for what it's worth, there's people. No, I don't care about the sexualization of Taylor Swift. Whatever. It's whatever. That doesn't.
You just hate that she was in Baltimore when they lost.
Obviously, no, it's not. No, and it's just like I said, it's not even that. It's just I look at that the same way I look at DUPO. And just
actually, I was going to tell you, Jeff, the shirt you have on, that's a great looking shirt. The top,
old school,
old timey, like the top. Yeah, it looks great. I'm so pumped for baseball season. I saw that. I was like, yeah, there you go.
Did you guys see?
Did you see Josh has taken the Nathan approach? I thought you were clean. Like
what?
Look at that.
I got some burns. I got some sideburns going.
I'm sorry.
Did you guys? Okay, so Rob Liefeld decides to call it a day. He says, "I'm retiring." And not only is he retiring
from drugs, or
no, he's retiring.
No, he's codependent on those now.
He's
from
retiring.
501s?
He's retiring from drawing Deadpool, but he is jumping straight into talking shit on Twitter. Check this out. This is freaking hilarious. Somebody put up a little image saying, "Lol, what the fuck is this?" And it's Rob Liefeld art, and Rob responded, "The career you wished for but didn't get."
Wow.
Dude,
not wrong.
He's all over it, bro. I mean, look at. I shall show you some others. This guy put, "Stop dick riding so hard that critiquing isn't allowed. That generally looks like shit, and you know it." And he responded, "Wrong. This cover is great, and I'm ridiculously proud of it. I mean, he is just letting people have it, man.
Good for him. I actually like that cover, so I'm with him.
I love Rob Liefeld, and even in retirement.
The only thing I don't like is his signature. Like,
yeah.
I wish it was, because it just looks like he just does boom, 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 and that's it. Unless you pay for actually the Liefeld.
I mean, he's all over the place on Twitter, so make sure you guys follow his Twitter. I mean, he did the Robservations where he talks about the Valentino and Larson fight
back when the finances, who was the CFO and how Valentino.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, man. So he tweets everything 4 times. So he's got to get that figured out. There's four tweets of everything he puts out, but it's worth checking out just as much as it's worth watching his.
I will tell you, just from the stuff I've seen on him, anything. That guy has the most beautiful family of anyone I think I've almost ever seen. Everyone in that family just.
What did you guys think of this? Did you guys see the Star Wars book?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this is fucking ridiculous, dude. Star Wars 38, and then is it only Star Wars 38? The LaRocca's panels are straight from the movies. It looks like they just put them through a Photoshop and said comic eyes. You know what I mean? Look at that. That's unbelievable. What are they thinking? Look at this. Look how that just looks terrible. It looks so bad that they're not putting any effort into the art. I mean, that's
why would they? Nobody's looking on the inside anyway.
Yeah. I mean, from the upcoming Star Wars comics, Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi #5, we're straight up tracing over scenes from the TV series now. This is absolute dreck. This is from a guy on Twitter. Man, I mean, it's getting bad when we're doing stuff like that. If you want to get pissed at comic art, this is the type of stuff to get mad about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just straight
but it's
up.
and it's not even just comic art. It's not even comic story inside of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking rough, man. Damn.
Brad, to answer your question, so the inside of Female Force is a loose adaptation of the early career of Taylor Swift.
There you go. Man, that's fucking some rough shit right there, let me tell you.
I was going to ask you guys if y'all read Thundercats 1.
I haven't read it yet. Is it good?
Mm-hmm. It's okay. It does explain, if you watch the old cartoon where Lino was basically kind of the same age as Wily Kit and Wily Cat, why he aged so much faster. But the art and the way Tiger looks, it's just I hope they have a really good story. I'll put it that way.
I saw some of the interior pages and they were pretty bad.
Yeah,
pretty bad.
It's not great. So hopefully the story's really good.
I saw this post on Twitter from Jared of OK Comics. He said, in the last few days, I've seen that 3 independent comic book shops have announced their imminent closure. Well-run, well-known, established shops owned, operated, and curated by people who have put their heart and soul into the business. There will be more. This is a thread, and it's just a thread talking about all the financial crisis and how comic shops are trying to stay alive. And like we were talking earlier, if you're not a hustler at this point, man, you can't just put books on a shelf and expect them to sell.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So if anybody out there, one of their shops is shutting down, let us know. I'll keep an
Bryan, I don't know, Jesse may be like this, but Jen for Space Cadets, every time you go in, she's got some kind of feed or someone walking around the store. She's got to be on every platform all the time with someone that's shop hustler. I mean, and she actually just moved into a new space, a really, really nice space. So hopefully they're doing well.
Hey, what did you see these, Nate?
I did. The was it Power Packs or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, they actually sold out on Hasbro immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not I saw the Wednesday show. I'm kind of with you. It's not my thing. I'm an O-ring guy, so
yeah.
I'll wait for the Super 7s to come out and see what happens with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, I would actually like the comics more than I would the figures that come with that, because I'd like to see exactly what the stories are, if they're similar to, or if they're in the G.I. Joe run, or if they're completely different. But of course, the way Todd, the funny part was when Todd was putting them up, he was just slamming those things down. Like, oh, that's went from near mint to excellent pretty fast. Very fine.
All right. Is there any new updates? Have we heard any new updates from CGC yet since we last talked about them? I haven't heard any new updates or anything.
They're not going to say anything from here on out. Just come pre-screen your 99s.
I don't think they should say anything. I mean, I don't think there's really a benefit for them to say anything.
No,
it is what it is, and
they
just kind of try and keep going because
they got to change their case. Just change their fucking case.
Yeah,
that's
CBS can do it. Like,
yeah,
copy. It's just like the NFL. If somebody else has a good idea, steal
it. Yeah, that's what happens, man.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
nothing wrong with that. It's just,
yeah.
Like the QR codes on the PSA cases. I mean, there's so many different things you can do if you want to.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Drama Alert. Let's have our buddy, Mr. David Lee Roth, sing us out the best way possible.
Can you hear me out there? Hey, man, don't be squirting water at me. I'm gonna fuck your girlfriend, pal.
All right. You guys got any pickups? I know Josh has got some good pickups. I've got a couple good pickups. Yeah. You guys got any good pickups before we go over FOC?
Yeah.
No. So the breaking news here is I think I'm actually gonna get rid of most of my stuff for a little bit and just try to find headspace.
Yep. Start over. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want it all gone. Want everything gone.
Yep.
It's part of it's probably reactionary based off of my day, but at the same time, I need to find happiness, and the shit's not giving me happiness anymore. And if it's not giving me happiness, I don't
change it up. Yep, you got to change something.
I feel it.
Yep. Well, that's why it's always nice to come on and bullshit about comics in some way or form. So hopefully that doesn't change. Hopefully you still enjoy comics somehow.
The Orioles will bring you happiness.
Well, they brought me some happiness and they signed up Corbin Burns.
Corbin Burns, man. Finally, they got some pitching.
All right. Who wants to start?
I'll go.
Okay.
And Cardi, anybody that actually knows me to talk to me, I've been saying this for a month.
All right.
So just a couple G.I. Joe figures added in. Lady J, which is got to be the worst Lady J of all time because it doesn't look anything like the cartoon. So, and then I think one of the favorites was the Snow Serpent when it came out. And
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's such a great looking figure. I mean,
yeah,
just love it. And then finally with the G.I. Joes is Shipwreck.
Nice.
So I'm getting to pretty close on the 4 series. I think I'm missing Tomax and Zaymont and Crimson Guard and Buzzer from the Dreadnoks. And I'm missing Dusty and Airtight and Alpine from the Joes. So getting there one by one. Bryan, I think Yi and I we went to a card show here in town last weekend. So I'll just run through some cards real quickly. This is one I've been trying to get for a little bit. And this is the O-Pee-Chee. Back when, the tops is actually it's a different picture because
it's him holding his jersey.
Right. And so I'd never had the O-Pee-Chee, so I grabbed that.
I love those 2 cards, man.
Yeah. I've always wanted this card ever since the 89 Upper Deck came out. So it's a very low grade. I didn't pay much for it, but I just wanted to have it. And I hate the Braves, so I'm sorry, Remo, but God, they were just the worst. So the Dale Murphy reverse auto. I'm sorry, not reverse auto, but reverse negative. Going into the Mets or baseball season, I picked up the Alonso Heritage action.
That's beautiful.
Image variation.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And then his this is the same thing, but for his rookie year for the 19.
Mm-hmm.
So 1920. I picked up. I think I still think Lindor is very underrated. So I found a good deal on a Bowman Chrome rookie refractor to 500.
Wow,
auto.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, it's
beautiful auto.
When you get on these cards back around this time, they're tougher to find than you would think. That's loud. This was probably the biggest pickup. 81 Montana PSA 9.
Wow, tough card. It's my all-time favorite top 5 card.
We pulled a couple of cards out. They had 5 of them, and just kind of laid them all out and just went through each one and said, which one's the best one. I saw this immediately. I was like, I gotta have it. And I'm not an archives guy, but the 53 version with Nolan Ryan with the Mets, and that he's at that beautiful signature.
Did you buy all these graded, or did you send them in?
No, I picked them all up.
Okay.
Actually, I did go to PSA when I was there. I went straight to the PSA table. They had no one there. I dropped off 53 cards, and I was done in 10 minutes.
Wow.
My Luau Cinder 69, I just saw I should be getting it back hopefully next week.
Nice.
This one I thought was really cool. Bo Jackson and Ronald Reagan, X Factor.
I have one of those, yeah.
If anyone, this is the first All-Star game I ever watched, and he hit a home run, dead center off Rick Russell, and Wade Boggs hit one right after him.
My parents were at that game. My dad's got a photo of Bo hitting that home run.
Oh my God! Yeah. He just I was like, Rick Russell's your starting pitcher. How good can your All-Star team be?
Oh man, I love that 68 bench.
I love the 68s, man, and they usually have really soft corners, but the bench, I got a 6. I've been trying to get a 4 or 5, and I basically got the 6 for basically what a 4 goes to. I got this for $220.
Yeah, I want to get a Nolan rookie sometime this year if I can.
Yeah, and I want to thank Yee. Yee came to the show and gave me this Ohtani and this LaMelo. Just beautiful cards.
Yeah, nice.
And just a few more real fast. I love Junior, and the guy had this. I got for $25.
Not bad.
Nice.
And walked by a guy. Some guy had a Kendall Gill Hornets. He had it for $35. I'm like, man, I'll give you 15 for it. And he goes, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And my buddy does. You found the one guy who actually likes the Hornets. He's like, I've been trying to sell this thing for years. He's like, you got lucky. This one is I love this patching auto for Correa.
Yeah, button.
Just beautiful. And then last one with the Montana, we did a bulk deal and picked up this Peyton. And I'm telling you, man, beautiful. This Peyton, besides this little corner down here, and he had 4 or 5 of these. We pulled them all out. Same with the Montanas. We picked out the ones we thought were the best. But man, it is
gorgeous. Yeah,
it is stunning.
Yep, another top 5 favorite card. I don't own one of the only Peyton rookie I own is the pack. That's it. Not bad, dude. That's beautiful.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, Josh, wow him.
Let's see.
All right. It's about to get real swifty up in here.
All right.
So this is I got my tickets back. So this was the 2009 Fearless Tour ticket that I got graded. This case is fucking huge too.
Yeah.
Like,
what's it graded? It looks perfect.
It's so bad. So this was the one I didn't know how it was going to grade because I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's tape. So they taped part of the ticket back together. So it only graded a 1.5. Like, it's real bad. So I got a 1.5, and then I got this. They had these Eras Tour commemorative tickets. So I got one of those graded. And it just says like VIP on the back. That came back a 7. So then this is one of the gems. So this is a legit Eras Tour ticket for Inglewood,
beautiful.
California. So it's a full ticket. It got a 7.
That looks great. It's in a card holder.
So the only way you could get physical tickets to the Eras Tour is if you were on like the VIP list. So then I got this rando ticket graded. So this is from 2006.
Is that where she's saying the national anthem?
Yes. So this was the Detroit Lions Dolphins Thanksgiving Day game where Taylor Swift sang the national anthem. So I'm pretty sure this was her first like national TV broadcast that she ever had. So that's why. And
it coincides with the NFL. So
so that's why I picked that up, because I think that's her first national TV broadcast. And then I got a another Eras Tour ticket for Denver, Colorado. So it's interesting because it's a totally different size than the other one, but that one graded a 3. But
hey Josh, with the QR code, have you scanned it to see like the population is on all these different?
I have not. I should do that.
I'd be very curious to see like
I'll
what the
do that
counts are.
After I'm done, and then I had to pick up one of these.
There we go.
This was by far. This was okay. So I do
Shout
have a
out to
complaint,
Sean.
but
He just left.
This was by far the best cover.
Why are you pointing right there?
They did so, yeah. So, but here's the issue, and tell me if I'm just looking at this wrong or I don't understand something. But look at this. Like, there's her waist, but like her thigh is like way over here, but her waist is way like. Am I just?
I think it's just
like over here, it's like it's good.
So I think it's an optical illusion being presented by the white shirt.
And that's like what I thought, but like that I noticed that, and I was like,
and it's tough to tell on camera. I would need to see it in person.
Yeah.
Really.
And then this, I was so excited to pick up. So this is Misterios del Gato Negro number 41. That's a cool pre-code horror. So in the States, this was Strange. What was this? Strange Fantasy 1, I think it is. Yeah, so Strange Fantasy 1. So those are my pickups.
Not bad, dude. You did well. You did well. All right.
The Swifties would be very proud.
Yes, they would.
I think
right.
One of us. You're
yeah,
in.
freaks. Yeah. We were talking about that yesterday's show.
Scan these QR codes.
The Hot 10. All right, so. Oh wait, hold on there. Almost messed that one up. All right, I got my Transformer spot foil from Big Clutch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'll be sending that in to get graded. I've showed this, but I got to show it to Josh. I got my Besame Mucho.
Yeah. When I was watching on my phone earlier, I saw that and I was like, yes.
Hadn't you been trying to get that for a long time, right?
Yeah.
When you saw it, or at least when you saw it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember when they came up. It's like, wow.
And is that bigger than like
it's
magazine size? Yeah. Or is it magazine size?
It's about magazine size, a little bit
Okay.
bigger. Yeah. So, and
That's so
then I got. So I was in a comic shop with Dino when he came out here, and they had this on the wall in their shop. And I love these old Hall of Heroes, Ethan Van Sciver covers. I like the Snowman one, the Vortex stuff, the early Cyberfrog stuff. But this was in their wall for raw for $180. And I went to go buy it, and then I looked up on the internet, and I saw a 9.8 for $180. So Salamandroid #1. And a 9.8. So these this is from like 97, which is who was the main guy at Hall of Heroes, the guy that did Creed? You guys remember him? Trent Kanuga. You guys remember him? That was a big deal, that Creed book back at Hall of Heroes in the day. But EVS did a bunch of stuff there, and then finally. This is fucking super cool. And shout out to a good friend. I don't know if he wants me to say anything, so I won't yet, but hit me up.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Nice.
And he told me, hey man, I saw that you were saying that you wanted one and you missed out on one. And he goes, here's one for sale. It's a PSA 9 with an
I was going to say, what's the grade on that? Because the black is so clean. Like, it shouldn't be that high. Like, you can't get cards that high that look like that. Because they're all, you had to get, like, it's almost like Sports Illustrated for kids. They're, I'll butcher it, perforated.
Perforated, yeah.
Right?
On 3 sides. This one is perforated.
Wow.
And it's autographed. So Ray Lewis, 1994 Miami. This is the same set that had the Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So this is, I'm so stoked that I got this. And you know who you are. I appreciate you immensely for this, brother. So super
That
cool.
is
Look at the back.
great gift.
I've never seen the back. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Bumblebee. Oh, yeah.
Bumblebee seafood. Bumblebee tuna. So, yeah, man. And it looks really, really nice. So that was my pickups. I'm pretty stoked about that Ray Lewis, man. That's like next level.
That's the way to do it right there. That's great.
Wow. Yeah. So, all right. I got to find a good because I want to put the Besame Mucho on the wall. Like I want to, put it in a frame or something type deal. So I got to figure out a way to do that. And then I had to go buy rubber bands because I didn't have any rubber bands to send out my PSA submission. So, and then finally I have this coming. I got to show you guys this though. This is going to show up Monday. Look at this fucker. It's a magnifying glass that does up to 1300x. It's a coin microscope with a 7-inch display, but you can plug it into your computer and I can stream with it, and it's for cards. So I was
going to ask you if you put cards at the bottom and almost like a huge magnifying glass.
Yeah, so I can show you guys the problems with the cards as I'm going through them, because I'm going to be doing a lot of PSA submissions, but I'll be able to show you guys the issues and hopefully fix some of the issues. Shout out to Kurt's Card Care. I picked up one of these because he uses it a lot to fix a lot of the issues on corners and stuff. And I went through, I think I talked about this, but I went through and not all my cards to grade, but a nice chunk. And I did an 82 card submission. But out of that submission, these are all the rejects that have something wrong with them that I need to fix, that I'm going to fix using this thing on the screen that we're looking at right here. So it'll be a lot of fun. I picked up a nice little chunk of.
Are most of those chrome, Brian? The ones that got rejected?
scratches. So I picked up a nice chunk of these really nice microfiber towels to use on those to try and maybe buff out some of those scratches. But so many new card product is just scratched to hell. These new chrome products. I mean,
are those towels, are they different than like what you'd have for your sunglasses?
Yes. They're more fluffy. They're like microfiber.
They look softer.
Yeah, they're soft. See,
so is it if you're cleaning it, they won't scratch it?
Yeah,
when you're trying to
exactly.
clean it?
Yeah, and you can put Kurt's Card Care sells like a little buff like a polish that you can use. So I bought some of that polish, and it works really well on scratches that aren't too deep. But so many of these cards just have the most super deep scratches in them, or print lines that are just garbage. So
I remember when I pulled out I was showing you a Kamar Rocker auto for Bowman, and there's just that print line. I was like, I can't send a PSA because it comes like right down.
Yeah. Yep. So I heard they're being a little bit better about some of that stuff. So we'll see if I can get through on some of those, because I did send some in that have these crazy print lines, but like it's weird. And I'll show them. I'm going to do a video once that comes in before I send the cards out. I'm going to go through all the cards and show what I think they're going to get and that type of stuff. It'll give me a chance to record all those, which will, it'll be nice. It'll be nice. All right, let's go take a look real quick at some FOC goodness from our boy Lefteros. Starting off with Avengers Twilight number 4. You guys reading Avengers Twilight?
I read the first issue.
So I was actually trying to find the issues at my LCS, and they didn't have them.
2 just came out, and it's good.
Yeah, I need to read 2. Yeah, I liked 1.
Yeah.
I love the art, the Akuna interior art.
Jesus. We were kind of talking about that earlier when Sean was here about interior art. With Tony and Trish. And when Tony was showing the interior art to Uncanny Valley. The books that I am currently reading, it helps so much that the internal art is good. The interior art is good. Like Ultimate Spider-Man, Twilight, Avengers Twilight. The interior art is just amazing. So that's a good on them.
You don't want to stare at something that looks like shit.
Yeah, fuck no. So you could have the new Avengers introduction in this, and who doesn't love Alex Ross covers? So Zdarsky storyline and Akuna art, as was talked about. Batman number 145. You've got a Yasmin Putri variant that looks pretty fucking awesome. Holy cow. That is great.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, his mom's pearls. So, yeah, there we go.
Oh, I didn't realize he was writing for Marvel and DC at the same time.
He did a really good podcast recently where he talked about what he thinks about comics and what's going on right now. And it's a very, very interesting podcast Zdarsky did. Moving on, Star Wars High Republic Adventures number 4. You got the first appearance and cover of Niv Drendow, which is a character who serves under Baron Boulan. Just another Star Wars character that everybody goes crazy when there's a new Star Wars character. Oh, man, have those Star Wars books tanked. Jesus. Star Wars books were the hottest books in the world for a 2-year period. Any new first appearance in any Star Wars book went crazy, and they've all just
like every book.
Yeah, every book.
Once High Republic hit, man, it was every book.
Yeah, and now they've tanked. Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 number 1. You got a badass Linnell Francis Liu cover, and first appearance of a new 2099 symbiote.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2099 symbiote. That's
Looks
maybe we
badass.
get the Shikari cover for this.
Yeah, there you go. There we go. This is it. Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan number 1. You get another Jay Gonzo variant, which this is a really good one with the looks like cherry blossoms, maybe some type of flower.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, I love those covers.
Yeah, They're amazing. I think he's might be local here in Arizona. Ultimate Black Panther #1, the second print. You guys read this?
I heard mixed reviews.
It is the exact same as the movie, except for the only cool parts are Killmonger and Storm are working together, and the bad guy is Moon Knight. Other than that, it's exact same as the movie.
Interesting. Moon
Yeah.
Knight.
Yep. So we'll see how it plays out. Ultimate Black Panther #2. This is the special variant. Shuri cover by Boss Logic. So he's doing covers for all the issues. And then Void Rivals #7. First appearance and cover of Proximus. I am not reading Void Rivals, but it's the only stuff in the Engine Run universe that I wasn't a fan of. This says, this issue brings us to what looks like will be a key Skybound Energon universe first appearance. Enter Proximus. I prefer issues with new Void Rivals characters versus reintroduced Transformers or G.I. Joe characters, was what Lefteros says. Needless to say, I believe in this property, and I'm going for it on this one. So
I like the name.
Yeah, I like the way it looks, too.
Yeah.
That's a great cover. I'll check
Void
it out.
Rivals, is that limited to like 10 or 12 issues? I
don't know.
I don't know either, and it may not be. But when it first came out, I thought like it was only going to be like 5 issues, and it was going to go like into GI Joe, Transformers, and Cobra Commander Duke. So
yeah,
curious about that.
All right, let's jump on over to our boy Billy's page at Economics Comics, and we are going to go by alphabetically, just because it's easier for me. All right, here we go. Action Comics, you got the Bizarro story still going on there. And Alien, dude, there are some killer covers in FOC this week. I mean, some killer covers.
And they're still doing those Disney books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea was good. It's just
I love this.
too much.
People
This
keep
is bad.
buying them.
Like 1 or 2.
That's
I think,
a sweet cover.
Right? That's awesome. Yeah, people will keep buying them.
That
You're right.
goofy book.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I do like that cover.
Dude.
And I buy those instead of the Amazing Spider-Man covers.
Avengers
Well,
Twilight.
that's a low bar.
Look at that.
Yeah, it is. You are correct.
Wow. Man, look at the covers. Great. The Mark Brooks covers are so good, dude. The head covers that Mark Brooks are doing are so good. There's a Jubilee one this week.
They didn't let who was that? Todd
Knock.
See, they didn't let Todd come back for that job.
Todd Knock.
God, those
this one,
headshots.
the second printing for Batman 142 is a big book. The Basic Instinct cover, famous.
I don't think I knew there was a Basic Instinct comic.
Yeah.
It's
oh man.
It's
I need to
because
get
of
some
who's
back issues.
publishing it. No, you don't.
No, it's
terrible. No. Yeah.
It's because of who's publishing it.
That's a gorgeous Batman cover. 145. Bruno Redondo. That's funny. The old Batman 67.
Where they climb up
the
side.
Yeah. Daniel Warren Johnson Batman. You got the Derek Chu. That's a really good Simone DeMeo cover. Cale New. Batman, Robin, and Howard.
So if you remember, Free Comic Book Day, I'm going to say last year, might have been 2 years ago, was the introduction of that.
Okay. Interesting. All right, let's see what we got next. We have got Batman Dylan Dog #1. Starting off with that. Beneath the Trees Nobody Sees #4. And there's the Massimo. The Birds of Prey covers this week are so good, man.
I was going to say, how great is that cover?
Here's the Zerdy. I just don't like Zerdy faces. They're small. But that one will sell. People love those Zerdy ones. But look at this Lobos and Souza Micah.
Souza Micah, man.
This
Lobos. That's a great cover.
Right? And then this Souza Micah, she's got 2 covers. Holy cow.
Yeah, all of
She
her Women
nailed it.
History
Like,
Month
that
covers
is-
are killer.
Yeah, knock it out the park.
Incredible.
Yeah. And then Black Hammer. The End covers number 6. Black Widow and Hawkeye has the Adam Hughes. I don't like it. In the neck. Oh, stop
I
shrieking,
know
Kangy baby.
I always complain about Art Germ, but I really want that.
Yeah.
The 1 in 100 Virgin Hawkeye Art Germ cover.
This one.
Yeah. I missed out on getting that at ratio.
Here's the Hawkeye Mark Brooks. Bloodshot Unleashed Reloaded. Blue Beetle. Blue Book, the Avon Emming Alien book, which is cool. Carnage. That's a good Stormbreaker cover. Crave, what is this? That's a pretty cool cover. Holy cow. Look at that. It's interesting. This is a cool cover too. For the same book. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
Some cool Crave covers. Dark Souls. D&D Fortune Finder. Man, there's some good covers this week for FOC. More Mark Brooks. Ryan Gonzalez. There you go. Look at that. That is fucking color overload. It's good. Ooh, Disney Cruella Middleton. Man, that is...
I don't know who that is.
Cruella?
What? 101
I don't know a lot
Dalmatians?
about. I've never seen it. There are a lot of Disney movies. I explained this. Literally, someone yesterday. I've never seen Beauty and the Beast and stuff like that.
There's
I do
Sweeney
like
Boo.
that one. I like that. Yeah, I like that boob.
This one's a good one too.
That's a pretty cover.
Yeah, with the dogs.
End After End. That's a crazy cover. Ooh, look at these.
That's cool.
Damn, right? So is this one.
Yeah, like a Minotaur.
Fables 162, final issue, right? Finally coming out. Here's the Brooks Jubilee Fall of the House. Look at that.
I mean, I don't like Jubilee, but I think that's a really good cover.
Fucking A, man. That's excellent. They need to take that Fall of X and just leave everything else. Man, that's good. Look at this. Mercado Colossus.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like Colossus with the beard.
Mm-hmm.
He looks just more truculent.
Look at this one, dude. Wow. David Yarden Farewell Krakoa variant. That's a good cover.
Krakoa.
Fall of House X number 3. Gargoyles. Look at that. That's a crane. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Andolfo. Henderson. Ghost on the Water. Goon. This is a crazy Green Lantern cover. Evan Shaner. Doc Shaner. That's a beautiful cover right there. Wow. Look at that. I like that for some reason.
That's cool.
Yeah. There's the Zerdy. Gunslinger. House of Slaughter. FOC Reveal. I'm so over House of Slaughter. Mortal Thor cover pack. There's a lot of good covers in this Mortal Thor run. Look at that. This one right here. Look at that. Jesus. It's sick. Sick. You got Elizabeth Torque. Jackpot. Black Cat. That's not good. It looks good at first, but then when you look at it, it's not. It had potential. It had a lot of potential.
To me, it's the fingers.
And her face.
Yeah.
Look at the fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at those. Those are off.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah. Great artist, though. Let's take a look at this one. Emilio Liso. Almost feels a little bit Lobo's style a little bit. Yeah. Ooh, look at this one. That's a cool design. I like that. Jennifer Blood, Jackpot. Ooh, this one's a gorgeous cover. Look at this. Tony Harris, Justice Society of America. Look at that. That is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous. Cool. Yeah. That is beautiful. Damn, that looks good. Zod. Last Mermaid. Machine Girl. This is interesting. Main Event. My Little Pony hair. My Little Pony. Night People, Outsiders, Matina. This is the other one. Look at this. This Souza Mica is covered year material, man.
Mm-hmm.
This in a foil. Ooh.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Like, but just like not the black. Like,
yes.
Just have the black be black and everything else. Yeah.
100%.
Dude, her art keeps getting better and better. And better.
Yep. And I was worried for a second there. I felt like she wasn't getting better because maybe she was working too much. But man, she proved us all. She proved me wrong. Everything that she's put out this year so far has been, and the end of the year.
I would actually tell you the same thing with Maria Wolf. Like, when I was kind of always a fence on her, but then when I saw the Cobra Commander stuff that she put out with Whatnot, I mean, or not Whatnot, but with
Big Clutch,
Big Clutch and Drew, I was like, Wanted Comics, I was like, incredible.
Yeah. Damn, that's a good cover.
Mm-hmm.
Rick and Morty, Shazam. I gotta read that. Sinister Sons, Somna. That's a crazy cover. Holy cow! Look at that. Damn.
Douche.
Yeah. Spend the Night. The Curse of One-Eyed Jenny. This is a cool cover too. Right? A good looking cover.
I love that Gwen on the drums.
Yeah. There's a good Star Trek for all you Star Trek fans out there, you nerds. Dinosaurs.
Nerds.
Yeah. Darth Vader 10th anniversary variant with what's her name?
That's what I was about to say. I don't know why Sabine's on the Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And it isn't making sense.
The Mace Windu covers were good. There's number two.
I didn't pick it up. I'm curious if it's actually any good. The story is actually any good.
Superman, there's the symbiote. Spider-Man 2099. This is the other one that I saw.
Go back up for a second.
This one?
Oh, I was just looking. I was like, yeah.
Here you go. Miss Minutes.
I love Miss Minutes variants.
Yeah. Look at this one's kind of crazy. Look at this one. Todd Knock. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan. There's that. Dia de los Muertos cover. Torpedo 72. That's a crazy looking cover. Ultimate Black Panther second printing. There's the Boss Logic Ultimate Special variant. Under Heist. Ooh, look at this.
Jeez.
Right? Ugh. Damn. Void Rivals, Walking Dead Deluxe, and finally, you got Wolverine Brooks cover, which is good.
Yeah.
And I think that's it for FOC. Not bad. A lot of fucking killer covers for FOC this week. Holy shit. That's a lot of interesting stuff. I think anything else you guys can think of? I'm probably missing
The only
something.
thing I was just going to ask you guys, I don't know if you brought this up either on Wednesday's show or last week, but did you guys read Wolverine 41 and 42?
No.
They are.
I didn't, but were those the crazy issues that I kept
Him
seeing
and-
everyone
him
talk
versus
about?
Sabretooth?
It is fantastic.
Is it?
It's incredible.
Is
So
that
I would just say,
without spoiling it, is that the happy birthday issue?
It is.
Okay.
It is. Yeah. So if you guys actually get a chance and you haven't had a chance to pick them up and they're still out there, grab Wolverine 41 and 42.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Really, really good. Great story so far.
I want to show you something, Nate. Hold on, I gotta find it here. This is a kind
And
of
42, is that the one where it has the Sabretooth cover where he's got like Wolverine's head on the platter or whatever? Or is that?
I think that, yeah. I didn't really look at the cover that much. I was so into the story, but
dude,
Wolverine, Sabretooth is in there on the cover, and I think he does have Wolverine.
Did you see this, Nate?
Right. I have not. Are those star cards?
Yeah, hold on.
Sealed bags that have been sealed since 1985 from the Indiana NBA All-Star Game from 1985 that was given away at the banquet that people came to eat and meet Hall of Fame legends and All-Stars. So these were given away at each table. Gatorade Slam Dunk, which we all know has a Michael Jordan card sandwiched in the middle of this set. Orlando Woolridge is the back card. And the Miller Lite All-Star set that also has a Michael Jordan rookie in here that also has Pat Riley as a coach on the back of these. So what better thing to do than cut these open as we are live on this video, prep them for see what happens. Also, good cards if they're not Jordan. Larry Bird's a good one. They're a little bit off-centered, it looks like, on the Larry Bird. Some surface issue on the top.
All off-cut.
Dr. J, another nice-looking one. The corners are pretty sharp on all these. Here we go, folks. Third card in. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, that one looks good, everybody. That's got a gorgeous eye appeal to it. The centering is a little bit off left to right, as you can all see. Tiny little edge issues, but the color and the eye appeal on this one are absolutely gorgeous. This is a very grade-worthy card. Front and back, Jordan looks pretty good. As you can see, it's off-centered left to right on the back.
Check out the Gatorade.
Really, so we shall see that card. All right, not sure exactly where the Jordan is in this run, but I know that there's a Clyde Drexler, there's a Dominique in here, Orlando Woolridge, as you saw on the back.
These are all rookies, you guys.
Orlando I think Larry Nance is in here. Yep, there's Larry Nance, the first card. And Terrence Stansberry for the Pacers. That's probably why he's in this set, because the Pacers hosted Slam Dunk Contest. Ooh, that Drexler's really nice. Definitely planning on prepping that one. Dr. J. Daryl Griffith. The Jordan, I think, is next. Yep, there it is. Michael Jordan. All right. Unfortunately, off-centered pretty significantly left to right. Man, that one hurts. Really hope that would be centered.
All right.
Star Company cards are...
Here's the next one.
Stinks because the
next one.
Issues, so let's hope that that's not like the rest of them. You can see that top left corner is pretty darn dinged up, but the rest of these look decent. Okay, there's Larry Nance. Terrence Stansberry. Clyde Drexler with a little bit of surface print down at the bottom there, as you can see. Julius Erving, Dr. J, a little bit of a print dot up there in the top
these
right
are
area.
So tough to even
Daryl
find.
Griffith, and there he is.
Look at that.
This one's really sharp, everybody. Look at the left to right centering and how clean that is. Look at that. The edges can be kind of swiped and get cleaned up. This one's pretty, everybody. bottom right corner is just a tad dinged up. That one stinks because the centering on this guy is gorgeous. I do.
Those cards are so rare, you guys. And he just opened. And the only place that you're going to find those packs is in the Indianapolis area, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
I honestly thought like keeping them sealed and then get them graded and then good auction.
Yeah. I got one more.
Because star cards are always off cut.
Yes, always.
Drastically.
Yep. All right. So, and then finally, this is crazy. This came. I was going to show this on Drama Alert, but this. Did you see this? What the superfractors look like for Bowman? New Bowman?
No. Look at that.
Look at the corners.
Wow.
Oh, they're round cut.
Pokemon. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're like TCG cards.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then this next thing is crazy. Look at
Fleer
this.
basketball. $10,000 a pack, give or take.
1961 Fleer basketball.
So I'm going to see if I can
$10,000 the pack cost.
I knew there was
He's going to open it.
63 Fleer baseball. I didn't know there was 61 Fleer basketball.
It's got all the rookies in it, man. All the good rookies.
I'm so close.
Dude, I can't believe he's opening this.
It looked like the pack was bending when he was
I
trying
didn't
to
know
pull
it
it
was
out.
actually. Who's in 61 Fleer basketball?
Watch.
1961.
Oh, shit. I want the gum.
Ooh. Jerry West.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, I'll just leave the gum there.
Elvin
It
Hayes.
is Big O.
Rookie.
Oscar Robertson.
Okay. I know that card. Never mind.
Next. Don
Don't
O.
put no.
Dude, he got so lucky. With the
Bob
Oscar Robinson.
Boozer.
I
Damn,
can't
you got an
believe it.
Elgin too.
Elgin Baylor?
Elgin
Two Hall of
Baylor,
Famers.
Oscar Robertson, and this is definitely a 95.5 on centering.
Jerry West.
Jerry West in
Hall of
action. Snags a rebound.
Wow, dude. $10,000 that pack was. I would be so scared to open up that pack.
Wow.
Yeah,
Could
I
have
don't think
nothing
I could
in
ever
it.
do anything like that.
Yeah, the only good part about the old basketball is that the sets are so small. There's a good chance you always get something good. That's it. Like I used to love opening the boxes like 87, 88 Flair because the set had like 200 people or 150 people. Like you would always get like 2 or 3 of all the main guys.
So one of the rarest cards in history was found in Colorado by somebody who recently inherited a collection. The Ty Cobb Redback with the
I say the Reds, yeah,
King
you can't find them.
King back card is one of the rarest cards. Of PSA 4.5 pitched 876,000 at auction. And look how nice this one looks. It's heading to Heritage.
Real
Josh,
nice.
you show them those Taylor Swift cards. I think we can make a trade.
Yeah. Look at that.
Your Pops ones.
Unbelievable. It's the most sought after T206 variation with PSA having graded and authenticated just 19 copies ever.
Just because of the red?
Yeah, because it has Ty Cobb on the back. Yeah, there's a red back and a green back. So crazy. I mean, unbelievable. Look at that. That's a 4.5. So there's an 8. Jesus. Can you imagine just, inheriting that collection? Huh?
Nope.
Yeah, that's fucking
Absolutely
crazy.
cannot.
Nope.
Yeah. Not for a
Whatsoever.
second. Yeah. Not a chance. So I thought that was interesting. All right. What do we got going on? Top Series 1 should be coming out soon, February 14th. Valentine's Day. Yep. People are already starting to get a hobby product and they're opening it, which is funny. So we're going to have a ton of Top Series 1 to break. What else? I'm working on hopefully building a podcasting studio at my LCS to start do some really cool stuff there. So be on the lookout for that stuff. Yeah, sub up if you love it. We appreciate you guys. Let's go jump in the Discord. I gotta pee.
There.
Adios.